Let's start over. Hi, and welcome to Monday Night Toy Ramblings. I am your host, Lawrence or a Punk. That's what I said the first time through, but I had it on mute because if you haven't dealt with StreamYard, then you don't understand the way that they seem to take their sweet old time in doing stuff. So, unfortunately, I was still on mute because you don't want to hear things at the beginning. So, anyway, how is everyone doing? Every time I do this, I sit here and I wait looking at the people that are waiting, and you see like two people, three people waiting. And I always think, is this is this the week no one shows up? Is this the week where I talk to four people and they don't want to hear me? So far it hasn't happened, and hopefully it won't happen for quite some time. But it is that weird, I guess, on stage feeling that you kind of get. So I know the chat is going crazy. I kind of watched it at the beginning that it was going, and obviously I got the text that I was on mute while I was talking because I'm not that bright. So anyway, hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. I know we did. At least what seems like a good weekend. Real busy weekend for me. A lot of live streams. I know not compared to a lot of you guys, because some of you guys are on 24/7. I am not on that much. I don't want to be on that much, and I don't think people want to hear me that much. But I do have to say, it is fun at times, and that's why yesterday I just kind of avoided live streams till Geek Dead Life and Hella Dope Toys. Actually, till Brick Something came on. Brick Something, who also had Action Figs on Ed. So that was great seeing you. You guys did a wonderful job. I don't know why you guys are talking about toys over on Brick's channel, though. I thought it was all about punk music. At least that's what I heard from the week before. So anyway, hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. Just gotta take a look at some things here. So if you guys haven't seen the video, I did drop a review of our Tripwire, and it's a really good figure. A big fan of it. Everything is really solid on it. I hope all their figures continue to be made like that, because I didn't see a lot of issues with stuff being loose, soft, hard. Yes, you got to put them together. And the Crimson Twins should be here within. I'm sorry, the Crimson Twins. The Crimson Strike team should be here within the next couple days. And Chuckles, they get charged for this morning. So if you order Chuckles, you got charged for it, which means we should have it sometime this week. And then I don't know what's coming after that. There's not very much. Matter of fact, I told Matthew Matson, if Hasbro doesn't change some of these dates for the Joes, there will be a lot of declined credit cards on December 1st, because there is so much stuff hitting on December 1st. That is actually crazy. Oh, look at this. And B's Battleground, he gets it first. That means I'm not even going to review it. Why would I, right? If you ain't first, you're last. Damn, Bobby, that quickly, huh? Yeah, mine shipped today. At least that's what it was packaged on Saturday, but it didn't go out till today. So, man, the chat is going crazy right now. Quickly, I want to talk about the streams that I was on, things that I did this weekend. You guys kind of know, we did Thursday movie flashback with Evil Dead 2. It's been on Canada for a minute. Yes, I know. Anyway, so Friday was our first members only stream, Punk's Pit. We had some technical difficulties. By we, I mean I had some technical difficulties, but I think it went pretty well. People seem to like it. If you've ever watched Oz's Saturday show, it's called now Oz's Clubhouse, I believe. That's kind of how it is. We rotated people in, had 10 people on there at times. Just a lot of fun. We went for 3 hours, from 11 to 2 o'clock in the morning here. So we rotated a lot. Matthew was on the whole time. Allison. We had Mr. Wonderful on Digital Diarrhea, Shark, Tony. Again, I'm going to miss some of you guys. I apologize. And some guys you haven't seen before, so you probably missed a little bit of it. And then I want to say thank you to Jay Bartlett. He had me on Saturday night talking all things Disney, Star Wars, and the state of it. And it's kind of odd because so many of us felt the exact same way. You know, I like some of the shows that maybe they didn't, but for the most part, everyone just feels like there's nothing to it. It's just like, to me, the Disney Star Wars right now, just so much of it just seems like it's dead eyes. So just behind the eyes is just completely dead. So anyway, let's say hi to the chat really quick. Wow, there are a lot of people here, and you know I try and get through everyone. So we got Matthew Matson, Shark Eyes, Down South 77, David R, DJ 5 Ash. See, I got it right because I read what he said. We got Ed Action Figs, Grav. It would have been nice to see you on Friday. You're a channel member. Where the hell were you at? Ray Paz. We got Payne's Toy Samples. He was there on Friday. Actually, he showed up while I was off trying to figure out shit. Figuratively speaking, another one that has been in so many chats lately. Nolan is here. Woodman 29. Machine Man. Let's see here. We got Cobra Commander, of course. We got to have Cobra Commander here, right? I mean, he is literally Cobra. Big Bacon made an appearance in his truck while driving because we brought up military, and he's like, I heard someone say military, and I had to tune in. I had to chime in on what I thought, and I thought it was awesome. Super Tizzo is here. Sorry, I'm not reading through anything that you guys said because there is so much. Hold on. I want to say graph here. Despite the strong attempt by Disney to take Marvel, the Hasbro team pulled it off and got the Ant-Man to fully back. Yes, they did. You know what? I knew it was going to happen. I've been saying that. No one wanted to argue about that. Destro's desk is here. Carol is here. Nice to see you. And as I mentioned, Bee's Battleground is already here, who will be on my show Thursday with a nemesis. Thursday with a friend. And if you want to find out where that comes from, make sure you tune in. Eric Thurman is here. James Lucas, another channel member. PNC, who I know watched the whole time. Fortunately, we couldn't communicate. We're going to call you 78. 78 is here. Fatred FU, Thanos Copter. So many. Okay, listen, I can't keep doing this because, hey, look, we made it to the end. I'm awesome. I just am awesome out loud. I sure the hell did. Anyway, thank you very much. All right, so I know sometimes I mention this, and I don't mention it probably enough like other people. We do have merchandise that is available down in the description. I have some shirts, mugs. You've seen the mugs. You've probably seen me wear the shirt. The Vision Streetwear shirt. The Roman with a I don't know. I forget what a Roman with toys, a dog with toys. Those were the ones. And we're working on another one for Tony's Figs. Yes, I'm trying to get my daughter to it. But the other things that I know I've mentioned before is Amazon and Entertainment Earth. There are codes down there that you can see, and it definitely helps support the channel. Every time that you purchase something using one of my codes, it does help. But there is a new one now, and I've discussed it with them, and now going forward, Hella Dope Toys now accepts a code for 10% off anything in store for as much as you want, even pre-orders, which is something that Entertainment Earth does not do. All you need to do is put in my initials, A Punk with Toys, so APWT at Hella Dope Toys. Go support those guys. Honest to God, they are wonderful people. And you're going to find that out in a minute. And look at this. Mr. Wonderful did show up. This guy has, listen, I don't know, it must be a Travis thing. This guy hounds and whines and cries about getting on the show, and I don't let him on. And then we do our first members only stream, and he's like, I can't come on. And we hounded him enough till he finally came on, and we got to see his destruction of his basement of everything that he's doing. So I do have to say, everyone that did watch, either was on or watched Punk's Pit, hey, you know what? Shoot me a message. Tell me what you guys thought. I know there's some technical difficulties not being able to see all the chats, which really sucks. I know I got to work on that. But again, if it's something you enjoy, if you want to be a little bit closer with us, not have as many people, get more questions asked, or just chat with everyone, it's going to be the place to be. That's for sure. So let's see here. We do have 1227 coming up this week. So depending on what gets shown, I'll try and update some of the stuff. I actually have Friday off as of right now. So if there's a lot of stuff, I might just throw together a stream. I doubt there's going to be all that much. But if there's a good amount, I wouldn't mind throwing together a quick stream if I have the ability. There's again, I can only go on live so much. Oh, don't worry, Bacon. That's coming really soon. Why can I only go on? Because no one wants to hear me all that much. All right. Some people think people love it. I don't listen. I need time away, for sure. But this Thursday will be Bobby B. I think that's going to be a really good one. I think they're all pretty good, but Bobby, he's got a story, man. B's Battleground. He has a story. No doubt about that. And I do want to say, the HasLab funded. Last I checked, I'm looking at it. It was at 10,325. It's just crushing through it right now. I don't understand why everyone sits around and waits and waits and waits. If you want it, just back it. Don't worry what other YouTubers tell you that you should and shouldn't like. Man, if you like the damn thing, then just back it. I don't get it. So many people are just, they're scared to like what they like, and they're going to listen to what other people say. We saw it with the Engine of Vengeance, and again, I have my thoughts on that too. But there were people actively rooting against it. I'm not going to say it would have funded either way, but they did make it go backwards while it was going forward at first. So anyway, I think that's all I have to say. I wasted 15 minutes. So now, before we get into the news, I am going to show you what Hella Dope felt they had to air earlier. They had to air on their show, although I did air it on Punk's Pit. But now I'm going to air it for you before we get into everything. And now when I go to the restroom, you guys won't have to just watch just a blank screen. So here we go.
Oh, hey guys, what's going on?
Mossman, what are you doing back here?
Oh, you see, so Skeletor, he had to go to the grocery store. He had to go buy more barbecue Pringle chips. And so he's put me in charge here for a little bit. In charge of y'all. He said, man, Mossman, I have to go to the grocery store, so I need to put you in charge of Snake Mountain.
Yes, that's Skeletor. That's Skeletor. Right.
Skeletor said since I was in charge, I could use the credit card and maybe go online and buy some action figures for myself.
Oh, some action figures sound kind of nice.
Yes. Maybe we can go to Big Bad.
Yeah, Beastman, we don't say that around here. We go to HelloDopeToys.com. They have the best prices in town, and they ship everything in one business day. One business day, Beastman. That means I buy it, and it comes to my house super fast, and they pack it all real nice. So when I go to do my YouTube reviews for my 5 subscribers, I'll be like, oh, look at this minty fresh packaged box that I got from HelloDopeToys.com. So what are we waiting for, y'all? Let's go get that credit card and head on over to HelloDopeToys.com right now before they run out of all the good stuff.
All right, so there we go. I expect this to be up right now. There we go. That is our commercial. Unfortunately, they didn't say our name on it. So next one, I'm going to have to specifically ask to have a Punk with Toys name on it, along with the code, which I didn't have at that time. So he said hi to Cobweb and Rolando, who happened to show up during the commercial. Anyway, let's get into a little bit of news, and we'll start with McFarlane. And you guys already saw it. So he has finally showed off his Wonder Woman. People have been asking for this figure for oh so how long. And I figured we might as well start with this. We'll bookend the McFarlane stuff with 2 things that I think look really good. Anyway, this is the only picture that I have. I don't know if he's released any more pictures since this showed up yesterday. I do think it looks pretty good from what I can see. These figures are just, they're big figures. And I've mentioned I'm not a hater of pins like a lot of people. I know I've even argued with some people or discussed with people. But the pins are just so big that they just really stand out. Now, luckily, it's all one color, so her leg, it does kind of blend. But this is Wonder Woman. So far, from what I see, I think it looks pretty good. I guess everyone will have to wait. I assume Allison would be here. I don't see Allison. I mean, I give a female figure to start off. I expect to see Allison making some sort of comment, but nowhere to be found. So, only picture that I have. But if you were waiting on McFarlane to finally do a Wonder Woman to fit into your scale, there she is. I guess Roman was waiting too. So Roman's like, all right, I've been waiting too. So here we have the new Joker, another Joker, go figure, with a GIMP mask on. Listen, if you like this, awesome. I don't think it looks bad, but it is another Joker. We got so many Jokers, so many Batman. We're gaining popularity and so many Supermen. Maybe eventually they'll have that many Wonder Woman. So he does have an alternate head here. I do think it looks nice. I mean, again, the purple outfit, the Joker mask, or the Joker face, and there's the GIMP suit again. And I know the Foosh had a better picture of it, and it looks weathered, and the paint looks really good from what I can see. So, Raypaz says they only charged me for two of the Chuckles, not the Chuckles I bought with the code. Well, you can go buy one right now. They were available, so I don't know if you know this, but the Chuckles were available. Like, you could just go purchase it. So if you want Chuckles, who I think, from what I can see, is a disappointing figure, but and there is Allison. Did Allison miss my Wonder Woman? Because maybe she just got the call, the little bat signal. So here's the GIMP look. Again, it looks pretty good. The suit looks good. Again, I'm not a hater of pinned joints. I just feel like his are too big. Roman doesn't like pinned joints. I don't know if you heard that. All right. So then we got Lord Deathman. Now this is an exclusive, and it is glow in the dark. So I had to throw in here. I know we've shown this already, and I said before when I first showed this, I had no interest in this other than if they made it glow in the dark it might be something that I'm willing to pick up if I see it, especially if I see it on clearance or a little bit lower. I was here for the Wonder Woman. That's why there was a Wonder Woman on the list. Oh, listen, I can't read that fast. No, he's not. No, he's making little noises. He's just sitting on the bed going. Anyway, again, this thing was already made to be glow in the dark. Now, I hope it's. I feel like the glow in the dark stuff. Listen, Tony, if Roman farted, I would not be in the room. I'd play the Hella Dope Toys commercial, turn the fan on, and leave, and let that thing loop for like 4 or 5 minutes because a dog can clear out almost any room. You can't read. Do we need to super chat you two hooked on phonics? Sure, if that works. Anyway, yeah, this thing was. I mean, it was meant to be glow in the dark, but hopefully that it glows in the dark really well. A lot of times the paint doesn't work all that well. Again, these skeletons are absolutely awesome, but unfortunately, like the mole rat doesn't glow all that well. It glows, but you really have to look for it, and you're not going to get a lot of use out of it in the dark. So, but here it is. Again, if you like glow in the dark, if you like the Batman 66, it's there for you guys, man. Like I said, if I find it and it's on clearance, it's a decent price. I think they're only $20 anyway. I don't really have room for anything, I mean, I like glow in the dark, but I'm not going to go crazy with it. Ooh, I like that. Put a blonde head on it, and you get Johnny Lawrence. Well, they had a bunch of Johnny Lawrence's heads, so yeah, you could easily do that. And here is the bookend. This showed up, and Lobo and his space cruiser. I don't know what it's called. I picked up Lobo comics for a short bit when I was younger. I don't know how much I've really read them. I never really got into it. I know what he is for the most part, but I thought this thing looked really cool. Actually, Oz sent it over to me. But I was going to see it, that's for sure. I think it looks awesome. And, if it goes by what McFarlane usually charges for stuff, it's actually not going to be that pricey. And I can already see people doing some amazing customs, probably for the Dreadnoks with this. Again, you can make that bike, if you're able to make it into a 3-wheeler, you could do all kinds of things. So. Oh, it's called a hog. I'm sorry. His hog. But I think this thing looks really good. He's got his guitar, which is 3 guitars. So we've all seen videos where people play multiple guitars like that. So anyway. He obviously has 2 different heads. As you can see, this one kind of has like the crazy hair, and then you have the more laid back, cooler hair. And when I mean the cooler, like bouncer cooler hair, the coolers. So anyway, there you go. Lobo is coming. It's an Amazon exclusive. So I will be sure to, if it hasn't come out yet, I will do my best to post my code so you guys can order it when it does release. I gotta say this, when I try and do all the different codes, especially with like new figures that come out, Amazon is the hardest by far to find the codes. I can go Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Stores or anything else, find everything, and it's such a pain in the ass. Not so much Swayze hair. I'm thinking the guy that gets killed in Roadhouse. And I don't, not Dalton, but Garrett. All right. So everyone's talked about this. So Sam Elliott. I'm not sure if it's Sam Elliott. Maybe Sam Elliott. But what the hell is his name in Roadhouse? Garrett. Wade Garrett. Anyway, so if you watch any toy tubing this weekend, you've seen the Turtles of Grayskull. I don't really care so much for the mix and match of these. I think some of them look pretty good, but we do cover Masters of the Universe. I love watching my viewership die. It can give me a breather, I guess, at times. So we're going to watch the viewership go down because you guys hate Motu. And since we don't talk turtles, I can guarantee you that will kill the stream. But let's take a look at these things here. I can't say that I fully understand all of these, but some of them look really good. And from what I understand, I believe that the story is supposed to be not so much a mashem, but the turtles somehow get teleported into the Motu universe. So you're not going to get, a He-Man Donatello or a He-Man Leonardo, because he wouldn't be Donatello, or Man-at-Arms Donatello. They are actually working together. Now, see, Cobb, I know, Cobb is a type. Now, I would expect Cobb at this point to be like messaging me, asking me to get on. Let me on. Come on, bring me on. Some of you only knew. So anyway, here's Leonardo. They are the size of Origins figures. I like an itch on my foot. I know, I didn't tell you guys too much. Like Allison and Motu, what I came here for. So here's the figure in the box. As you can see, it's going to fit perfectly in with your Motu Origin stuff. Here's how he looks. Now, I actually really do think that this Leonardo looks really good. I like the swords. It looks like they're supposed to be like kind of broken up, just like the Power Sword, but it kind of has that katana curve to it. So, but I actually do like the way this looks. And I think the blue and the greens actually, they complement each other really well. So this is the He-Man, and I did read about it. Someone tell me, why is He-Man blue? He got hit with mutagen, I believe. So He-Man is like mutated. Now you would think the most powerful man in the world, or I'm sorry, most powerful man in the universe, wouldn't have to worry about being changed. And I gotta say, like, He-Man, you would think with the Power Sword, nothing would be able to change him. I always said the same thing when you had like like Marvel Zombies. Wouldn't Wolverines, like Wolverine and Sabretooth, shouldn't their healing factors be able to fight that off? Same with like when they fought Dracula, they shouldn't be able to change the vampires. Anyway, and they did point this out. I watched I think it was a Geek Den Live. Someone had pointed out that it's kind of cool how you can actually see his toe kind of busting out. So I think that is actually pretty cool. Again, they did a little bit, but hey, you know what? If you like it, you like it. I do like the purple. I'm not so sure I like the punk rock green hair, but hey, you know what? The purple, maybe it's blue. I don't know. I mean, I like that big. I think it looks more purple, but it looks more translucent than anything. They could have made him green because they need to wait on the release of a green transparent one of the Slime Pit Zombie He-Man. Yeah. Donatello. And this one I'm kind of torn on here. I like the idea of what they did here, but I just don't think the purples work. But you have, all the Man-at-Arms stuff. And again, Man-at-Arms and Donatello are obviously the two perfect, mashups. Both are the one that designed the weapons. But I just don't really care for the purple. But it looks like they did give it some paint apps here. I do like the weapon. So you are getting new weapons and everything. But hey, you know what? If you like this whole the whole Motu line, the whole WWE Motu line, this is going to fit in perfect with all those figures. And now we have Man-at-Arms. And Man-at-Arms, I think, I kind of like it and I kind of don't. I like the idea of it, the big turtle shell and everything, but he looks like he looks really, really big. He almost looks like he should be in the Masterverse. I don't know why it sets like that, if it's just how he's standing or what. And obviously we can see that he's on the Origins buck, but for some odd reason, I feel like he just seems taller. Allison says she's buying them all, but she'll probably just throw them in a box for, and then 10 years later, she'll finally open them. Ray Pat, I would say probably not. Well, yeah, I don't think so because they're so much shorter, but their bodies and especially the chest is so big that maybe it will. But I mean, it's only gonna be $20, so only I'm throwing your money away. Next time anyone thinks that Ed is nice, just remember the mean things he says to me. Uncalled for. All right? Absolutely mean and uncalled for, Ed. Now I'm hurt. And then here's the back of it. We got Shredder and Donatello fighting. Or not Donatello. I don't want to say Donatello. Because Donatello's cooler than Leonardo. I don't know why people hate Leonardo so much. I mean, the guy has 2 katana swords. He's just a goody-goody. Then there's this one. I don't know what to say about this. It's interesting, that's for sure. And if it's your thing, there it is. Pat says it comes from a place of love next to the creek. Yeah. It's all out of love. Now it's all out of love when everyone sees how mean you are, huh? Backtrack. We're just calling you backpedal action figs. Because he's backpedaling his mean comments of me being short. Hi, buddy. Do you want to say hi? All right, let's remove this right here. All right. Come up and say hi. Come on. Oh, look, right there. Look there. Hi. Say hi. All right, but we can't do nothing right now, okay? And we did everything before the show started. I do that. Like, you guys, you come over here and you act like, oh, he never takes care of me, but the girl's not here. I'm not going to yell for the boy because I really don't want to fight with that one. Anyway. All right. Thanos says, I want to see Krang disassembled. Thanos, we already know what you want to see on Krang, okay? You want to see Krang's crank, all right? So just come on, don't mix your words there. You want to see Krang's crank, and we know we'll probably see it on a Wednesday or a Friday on Instagram. Now this one here, this one gets me. You kind of don't like it, but then you kind of look at it like this one just works. You have little Mouser droid that's now on his arm. You look like you just pop it right off. Everything is different, which is really cool. They gave him a different head sculpt. I like this one, and I think this one just works. And this is one I can actually see myself probably picking up if I do see it. Just because it's cool looking, man. It's just, you can easily fit this in with your or with my Origin stuff. Krang's wang. I like Krang's crank. It just, I'd say it flows, but I don't want nothing like that to flow off my tongue. But I do like this one. Again, I always love Trapjaw. I always found him to be he's one of my favorite characters because you can put the string throughout his head and just string him across your living room or your friend's living room. All right. And then we got some artwork of Shredder and Beastman. And the Beastman is actually, I mean, just his artwork here looks awesome. But we've always mentioned, at least I've always mentioned, that I absolutely love the Motu artwork. I think they do, it's second to none. I'm not saying there's not other artwork that's as good as it, but they do such a great job. So, Beastman, this artwork means this figure could be absolutely awesome or could be absolutely awful. Who knows, right? So, but that's it. What are your guys' feelings on that? I know Allison has her feelings. She says she's buying them all. I'm willing to bet Cobweb and Thanos Copter will also be getting them. Again, didn't really drop in viewership, although I'm not doing very well at 52. Hit that like button if you haven't yet. Something big going on today. Oh, that's right. Probably every other streamer is decided that they're going to jump in on my Monday night and try and talk about the Marvel Legends HasLab. It's already funded, guys. Stop your impromptu streams where you get like 400 people and let everyone come back to where they need to be, which is here. Okay. Yeah, okay, so Machine Man says, okay, Shredder was nice. No, I'm looking at Shredder and I'm trying to figure out like what is so different. Like what is supposed to be different? Or has he not like changed yet? It's it's hard to say. But Big Bacon's avoiding them all. Say hi to Palpatine. Where were you at Friday? I can guarantee you right now, Palpatine, everyone wants to see you. I know what you look like. Maybe some other people are friends with you. I know people want to see you on streams, man. So I'm going to get them on clearance. Try out the armor for my AWOC basic figures. I'm wondering how much of this stuff is going to end up on clearance. Now, you never know, when it hits Target. Walmart's always a crapshoot, but I do wonder if they've had a lot of the same issues that Hasbro's had, where they were so backlogged because of the pandemic, that maybe they're going to catch up. So, Shark Guy says, slap that like button if you're sticking around for Lawrence's show and couldn't give a damn about Giant Man. No, slap that like button even if you like Giant Man. Really, you foresee the Trapjaw on clearance? That's the one I don't know. That's the one that I look at and I think that's one I could definitely see. Definitely selling out or being the hard one to find, but who knows? I mean, the Motu line was so. I mean, it's if you picked up the Motu line, if you picked up any of the Origins when they first came out, you easily could have just grabbed them, turned around, and sold them and made a good profit because those things were just you could not find it. So Machine Man is the mean one now. Lawrence versus Giant Man. Can't make this up. Well, Giant Man also gets very tiny too, right? He doesn't Hank Pym get really small. So there is that. All right. So we did see the deck of Dracula, and I've showed you this before, but this is another glow in the dark, and I believe this is another Comic-Con exclusive. And again, I threw it in here because it's NECA, and it's glow in the dark and it's Dracula. So it's actually pretty cool when you think about it. It's a little bit of both. And I did see some of these when I was in at Disney World. So, NECA has sold out. I mean, they're at Disney, and you can imagine how much you pay for them at Disney. which made me laugh, like walking. Or no, I'll take it back. It was at Universal. I take it back. Was it Universal? Yeah, Universal had these. So you know how much you pay at Universal, because the moment you walk in, you're paying an extra. These are the 7-inch figures. You can see how he bends his arm, because NECA doesn't do many of the. They don't do 3.75. They do the tiny terrors, right? Tiny terrors. But it does look really cool. It does go with, what was the other one that glow in the dark? I know we showed it before. But again, NECA does a wonderful job. Look, they had this thing pressed up against a halogen light. So when they took the picture, it was glowing off the that vinyl cape. So like, man, look how much ours glows in the dark. You know that they did that. Thank you. The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Thank you very much. Down South 77. All right. But as you can see, wrong way. But yeah, it looks good. Again, hopefully it glows in the dark as well as. I'm always going to compare stuff to the. I'm out of it right now. Always going to compare things to Scareglow. All right. So this just popped up, and I had to throw this in. Mafex is doing a Black Adam Dwayne Johnson figure, and we got to talk about this. Because, I mean, this movie's awful. Like, I hated this movie. It was so bad. This is what happens when you have an actor who feels he's too big to be a bad guy, but wants to be a bad guy, but won't let it be a bad guy. But yeah. So they dropped this here. I saw it before I started the stream, and so the figure itself does not look all that bad, and actually the shot doesn't look that bad. I'm sure Dwayne will enjoy buying that figure, and nobody else will. I don't know, dude. I didn't hate it, but it was not good. Oh my god, I hated it. Like Aquaman was so bad it was good. I hated this movie. I hated everything about it. I don't even say I hated everything about this movie, because you know what? I thought Dr. Fate was a good character. I thought Hawkman was a good character. I didn't mind the characters, although it was just a rehash of so much stuff that Marvel's done. But again, Dr. Fate, the actor, made a really nice comeback in many ways. Again, it was Dwayne Johnson, who I loved Dwayne Johnson as The Rock. I loved him in some of his movies, but he's just gotten so big, and his ego is just huge. Anyway, this figure. So you're kind of getting a look at probably what I think is awesome. Oh, it was so predictable. It was so, and then everything about the movie leading up to Superman, and then like 2 weeks later, yep, Henry Cavill is out as Superman. So anyway, the figure looks good. Again, I'll mention Dwayne Johnson is the first professional wrestler to ever get out of wrestling and become bigger. I mean, the guy was never that ripped before. He was never that big before when he was wrestling, and he was a big guy. He's somehow gotten much bigger. I don't know, dude. The Rock nowadays, no, he is so jacked. I mean, all he does is roids. I'm sorry, he doesn't do steroids. Oh, bullshit. Anyway, so with the cape on, I think it looks pretty good. Soft goods. Again, this looks good. The cloak hangs over. I think that's really good. So, man, you are the most passive-aggressive motherfucker I know. You know that, dude? You are such a passive-aggressive. So I'm kind of passive-aggressive because I guess I do that too. But anyway, the back of the cape looks pretty good here. I don't mind it. I left it on here because you got all this shit behind it. So, but we're about to get to what the fuck, man. If you don't look at the forehead and above, you see Dwayne Johnson. But the moment I see the top, I start seeing Conehead. Let's give a shout out to Black Genghis. Check out KJ. He does a wonderful job. He's got his own channel now, so check him out. He's doing a wonderful job right now and doesn't put out as much media as we'd like him to, but once he starts putting out videos, you better be following it. Anyway, so I just don't get this, man. Like this, McFarlane did a really good head sculpt. McFarlane, who's not known for doing good head sculpts of actual people. But I thought he did a wonderful job doing Dwayne The Rock Johnson, which, let's be honest, for the love of God, Dwayne Johnson, it shouldn't be that hard. But there's just something wrong with this head. First off, it looks like he has no eyebrows. And even though here he's trying to raise the people's eyebrow, yet he looks like he has no eyebrow. And it's just like something is just a complete miss here. I'm not the only one that sees the complete miss, am I? Like, there is a complete miss here. So I just saw this and I'm like, man, oh man. Big Bacon says that head stopped in the middle that head stopped in the middle looks like the villain from Shazam. Exactly. But yeah, it's just something I don't know. So when you look at this again, you can't see the eyebrows. Maybe we're just missing something. Maybe it'll be more pronounced when the figure comes out. But yeah, I believe Dwayne might be the only one buying this figure, and he got the money. So, I mean, do you all think James Gunn will make better movies? No. Nope, not at all. I like Peacemaker. I was okay with Guardians of the Galaxy. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is overrated, although I think 3 was way better. Actually, I think 3 was really good, to be honest. I thought Peacemaker was really good. I hated the Suicide Squad. Hated the Suicide Squad, both of them. I mean, don't get me wrong. When someone tells me the second one was better than the first one, like, you're not. I mean, that's not saying much. But yeah. So there's your Dwayne Johnson Black Adam. If you want the big 5 head, but yeah, it is huge. Just something about this that just doesn't work. So I guess if you have the cloak, then you're probably pretty good. But I'm getting 3 heads. I'm looking at all those heads going, something's just wrong with every single one of them. So here he is, like, I think like this type of stuff, the way this like electricity is supposed to look, I think it's fine for a $25 figure. I just don't think it looks really good on a very expensive figure that you're going to pay. And this one looks even worse. And I understand what they're trying to do, but just Wow, PNC, the first Suicide Squad was the last hero movie I saw in the theater. Okay, in the theater. I thought you were going to say it all. I was going to be like, how the hell do you miss it? Ed says, DC has been rebranded too many times. I wish DC could do a proper movie outside of a few bat flicks. They have a few that are decent, or some that are good, but you're right. Was it you and Brick that was talking about it? Or no, maybe it was even the stream that I was on, where like talk about DC, and it's like, they've owned. I mean, Warner Brothers owns them. There was no reason, at least like, Disney and Marvel had the issues with Fox owning so much, and what was the other one? Paramount having partial ownership of the Hulk and different things like that. But you're right, they just cannot do it right. Other than their animated movies, which their animated movies are absolutely awesome. All right. So this is all that he comes with, other than the cloak and the heads. All right, and then they dropped this Daredevil. I think people will like the Daredevil. I think this looks good. I'm not a huge Daredevil fan. I like the TV show that we got. Unfortunately, we probably won't be getting anything like that when they finally do reboot Daredevil. It'll probably be watered down and not nearly as good because Disney Plus feels like they're scared to put on something that is really, really hardcore, even though we already know that it works. Well, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Cobra Commander, everyone is entitled to their opinion. The Flash was such a dumpster fire. In my opinion. So anyway, Matthew says, I love Mafex, but the figure isn't better than the Marvel Legends 3-pack version, except maybe the paint apps. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on what you like. I mean, you do get some amazing articulation from this. There's no doubt about that. So, but he looks good. Again, they're known for their articulation. The head sculpts, I think, look really good. And I mean, I don't mind this angry Duke face. It works sometimes. Maybe because you can't see the eyes, it works better. We'll see Angry Duke face later on in the stream on Angry Duke. But yeah, this is, I think maybe because you can't see the eyes and can't see the forehead and different things like this, it works really well. But I don't mind this, and I love the gritting face, like he just got hit in the shin. Riding a skateboard, that's probably a look we've all made 100 times when it happens. I know I don't really like it. So, but he is long and lanky. So, Machine Man says too big. I thought Mafex don't they run kind of short? I don't have any, so I can't. But I thought they actually ran kind of short. So, Palpatine says most superhero movies, whether it's Marvel or DC, has come down to a template style. It's basically cut and paste, so all the movies have the same familiar predictability. Well, yes, because they've really become, the comic book, But yeah, I'm with you. But again, I like to go there and get entertained and just kind of, let everything go. Like I'm looking forward to seeing the Marvels. I'm not saying it's going to be a great movie. Matter of fact, I forgot that it was a movie. I thought it was a TV show. That's how bad, everything has become convoluted when it comes to like the Marvel shows, unless it's a big name. So I'm looking forward to going to seeing it, just because, it's, entertainment. And I can take the kids and we can go do something and, just kind of, let our minds go, So, but I do love these faces, and I thought they did some wonderful, wonderful photography. Now there's nothing in the back, but just the way that they set it up. And this kind of looks like, he's getting too much stuff, like someone banged a pipe or something, and he's just kind of losing it. It looked like his crank at first. Well, I'm gonna say this. If anyone can get a hold of Silver K, let her know, because there is going to be a shot for her really soon. Here's another shot of them. Again, it looks really nice. I have no problem with it. They got his weapons that we all know. Now, I do have an issue with how the butterfly joins and just how the shoulders look in general. They're just kind of weird. But again, these are action figures, and you do have to overlook certain things. But anyway, and this one is for Silver K. If you don't see it, I don't know what to say. It looks like someone messing around with the shake weight. But maybe not just a shake weight. But that was the first thing that I saw. Say hi to Patrick Strauchel. I know I've seen. Where did you find the channel? I know you made a comment earlier today about wanting to catch the stream. You didn't think you were going to be able to, but I've seen your name popping up. So it is great to see you. Allison, shake it like a shake weight. Yeah. But I saw this and I'm like, wow, I hope Silver K sees this. So anyway. Buddy, not right now. I like this. I think this looks pretty good. Again, there is something with the shoulders, and I think a lot of people might not like that, and I can definitely see that. So, give me 1 second here. I'm going to call for my son. All right. I'm back. Not that I really went anywhere. But they showed a lot of good pictures of this guy. So, gotta say, I got like 2 hours to go, and I don't have much more to show, which always scares me, right? So here's all his weapons and everything. Again, his little different things that he's going to use. Again, I think this figure actually looks pretty good. I'm not a Marvel Legends guy or a Marvel guy. I have what I need. I'm sure I'll pick things up over time, but for the most part, I have everything I need. I've decided where I'm going to be going with my collecting, thanks to the G.I. Joe team, the Gargoyles team, and Monster Force. All right. So, we kind of got to talk about the HasLab. So, they did drop this, basically saying, hey, you know what? You're going to get this Janet. Now, I think it took longer for them to get this thing funded than they thought it was going to be. Here we go. I don't have enough ramble for 3 hours. I'm really not sure if I do. I really didn't mean that, Ed. I really don't know if I have enough to go 3 hours today. Sometimes there's just not a lot of shit going on. And so anyway, here she is. The Marvel team showed her off, hoping that it was going to build some enthusiasm for the Giant Man. I always thought the Giant Man was going to fund for $200. I think it's a pretty good price. And it's almost like no one's watched crowdfunders go. Like no one's ever just kind of watched a crowdfunder and understood how they go. And it was going to hit that tier and it was just going to shoot up through. But they should have thrown this in. This should have been in with Giant Man. Again, I'm not a huge Marvel Legends guy or Marvel guy, so I didn't watch this era, but really, this should have been the one that's in there. I'm probably going to freeze for a second because I'm going to refresh the Giant Man page over here. So it's at 11,355 backers right now. So it's on its way to hitting that first tier. I wouldn't be surprised if it hits 14,000. I mean, you kind of get to that point. Now people know that it's going to fund. Again, the stupidest thing that they do, that people do is they sit there and they wait and they wait and they wait, and it makes no sense. So KJ says, if Wasp was a tier, would Giant Man have sold more? I think so. I don't think, if you put it at a tier of 16,000, I don't think so. But I think if you put it at 14,000, I think you might have, because that's, your last tier is the one that you want it to be. And since they are time period accurate and that's what you want, I think it would have funded possibly sooner. But again, right now it's done what, 3,000 today, and we still have 2 hours to go, right? So I can see this thing hitting 14,000. It's not out of the realm. It's only $200, and I don't want to, again, I know people probably hate hearing me say poo-poo $200, but again, for what we paid, and I know Ed was talking about it with Brick, like, I don't collect Marvel Legends, but $200 I look at, I don't think it's a bad price at all. I want to say hi to Ratface44. Check out his channel. I think he does a wonderful job. And I know he does Action Force, and you can pick up checking out his Action Force reviews, because I won't be doing very many in the coming up. So check out his stuff. He's just dropping by to say hello. It's great to always see someone new, that is for sure. Hit that like button. 55 people. It seems to be a slow day today, but hey, you know what? 250 for 2 extra figures and a head sculpt. Yeah, 15, 16. Well, again, I don't think it should be raised. I mean, I think for the $200 is what I'm saying, that I think that they should have had it on there. And had that just as one. Now, if you had this at 16 to begin with, that would be one thing. But if you were going to throw it on, at the last minute to try and get this to fund, then yeah, you don't add an extra tier in the late stages. You add an extra tier when you've already blown through all your tiers, and you're like, you know what? Let's give them something else and see what it does. Black Angus says, KJ, on that, what took so long for this to fund? Again, it's hard to read through all your guys' comments. I love to, but again, I just think that it just, I think there's so many people out there that are listening to other toy tubers, and they're scared to make that decision. And until they see that it's going to fund or it funds, nobody wants to back it. Nobody wants to be that person to say, oh, yeah, I like that. I've talked to Ed numerous times. Like, I don't give a fuck what other people think. If it's something I like, then great. I'm going to buy it. And I don't care if it's Care Bears. If I like Care Bears, I'm going to buy Care Bears, and I'll review Care Bears if I want. But it's just like, and again, before someone says, oh, you like Care Bears, I love Care Bears. I loved Care a lot, and the Care Bear cousins, and they were really cool. And like KJ says, I feel like I'm only highlighting KJ's. I hear you, Punk. This campaign was weird. It was weird because it was only $200. And again, I don't want to just say only $200, because $200 for an action figure is expensive. But this is going to be a low count. This is one that will probably go up in price as time goes on. I do not believe that the value will go away. And it is twice as large as the Toy Biz version. I mean, I've seen the Toy Biz, the Toy Biz version, and it looks pretty good. But again, this thing, I think it looks really nice. And I'm not a Marvel Legends guy, but I do think that they should have thrown in, this Wasp figure. I think they should have been with it. And again, it's funny because I had mentioned this before. So here it is. I mentioned this before. It's funny because they came out with this and they said, now, you know what? We did our research and we realized people don't want figures behind the paywall. And that's not what people were saying with the Agent of Vengeance. Then you had the G.I. Joe team that came out with the Dragonfly and they said, hey, after that his tank, we realized all you guys want. Oh, you know what? Oh, dude. All in. I'm not even joking. All fucking in, man. You give me a fucking Grumpy Bear Motu collab. Oh, I'm all in. But then you have the G.I. Joe team. They say, hey, we looked at the hiss. We realized all you guys want is figures as tiers. But then the Motu team, I'm not the Motu. The Legends team is like, oh, we realize you don't want tiers. No, that's not what people didn't want. They just didn't want those figures locked behind that. But I have a lot to say about that. I mean, I still have a lot to say about that whole Agent of Vengeance on both sides yeah. Here's how I make it 3 fucking hours. Just go back to the Agent of Vengeance really quick. I heard people like, this is what makes me mad about this thing. Everyone said they wanted a Giant Man, right? Giant Man. Then the Giant Man comes out and everyone's like, oh, who asked for a Giant Man? I'm like, you guys all did. I've read your comments. You guys have been asking for a Giant Man, but now it's at a price point that you're not sure you want to spend, right? Everyone knew before that Agent of Vengeance came out, and again, I will say this, I feel like it was overpriced, especially coming off the Hiss tank, right? But leading up to it, everyone knew that it was going to be a Ghost Rider. What did everyone say? Oh, this better not be motorcycles. This better be the Charger. I read it in all these forums, on all these streams. Everyone said, hey, you know what? This Ghost Rider thing, it better be a fucking Charger. And then a Charger comes out and they go, who the fuck asked for a Charger? This should have been motorcycles. I said, what the fuck, man? Like, I just read everything that you guys said. Again, though I read the G.I. Joe forums and I realized what a bunch of assholes most of the G.I. Joe collectors are. Man, I'm really alienating people that would listen to this show. But I don't give a shit. Because I'll tell you what, these G.I. Joe people on Facebook are a bunch of idiots. Like, if one of them had half a brain, I'd be shocked. Wow. Man, I've just probably pissed off a whole bunch of people. But anyway, back to this thing. I needed to say that about the Agent of Vengeance for quite some time. But yeah, I do think that they should have had a figure with it. It didn't have to be a whole bunch. Again, one figure that was specific to this. Hell, I even think what Articulated Ninja said about this when it came out. He said, you know what? Had you done just like two or other tiers, been like 2 other Giant Men that could just kind of be like plastic molds of one being like an 8-inch, one being 12-inch, so you can kind of see him growing. And then what Ninja said was, and then right before this thing comes out, you release a 6-inch figure that looks just like this. You know, people would buy it, and then people could actually show him growing. I cannot believe I said that. I feel like I'm a fucking porn set or something. Could show him enlarging. It doesn't matter. No way I'm coming out without an app. That's what she said. Anyway. Hey, listen, you guys. Okay. Okay. I kind of lost it. I'm assuming when you say I can't take that dude seriously, are you talking about Articulated Ninja? I'm just saying, like, he had if that's what you're talking about, it was a video. I thought he had a really good idea, really good point of something they could have done. But yeah. I mean, do you want me to rage on about the G.I. Joe collectors because I can't stand watching these guys? I bet you Care Bear collectors aren't assholes. And Ryan Sweeney showed up. Ryan, where were you on Friday night, man? We had our own stream. You're a channel member. I see it. You're green. Where the hell were you at? I was waiting for Ryan just to show up and take over. Yeah, one day, you know what? No, maybe next week I'll do a stream about the G.I. Joe collectors who don't understand it. Once again, proving my point that G.I. Joe collectors are pretty much G.I. Joe collectors, not toy collectors. But again, you can go through the G.I. Joe forums and see which ones know what the hell they're talking about and which ones don't know what they're talking about. I don't yuck other people's yums, but I go nuclear the moment someone tells me how to collect. I don't know if that's what you're saying about me. I'm not telling people how to collect. I have a problem with people that don't understand why things are done a certain way. If you're referring to me, I have an issue that people act like all of a sudden they're idiots. And God forbid if I hear one more fucking person say, "Oh, I paid $3 for my G.I. Joe guys in the 80s. Yeah, well, guess what? Go fucking get a car dealership and go, I'm not spending 70 grand on a Dodge Ram. I could have bought it for 15 grand in fucking 1985. Yeah, good luck on that. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, okay. Anyway. Woo! I just gotta breathe. Anyway, looking at a giant man here, I do think this thing looks good. I mean, I've actually kind of been on the fence, like, you know what, I wouldn't mind to buy it, just kind of sit there and put it to the side and, you know, sell it for twice as much because you know that people are going to want this. And they're sitting at 11,538 now, so. All right. Wait, move this for a second. Anyway. What do you guys think about the HasLabs? And just in general, okay? Just in general, what do you think about the HasLabs? Again, I understand what they're doing. I think people lose all logic when it comes to Hasbro. When people say, you know what, I'm not going to do that for $1 billion company. Listen, you understand why they're $1 billion company, right? Because they don't make stupid decisions all the time. I'm not saying they never make a dumb decision, but they don't make stupid decisions all the time. That's the reason why they are what they are. And it's not, being a show for Hasbro. It's understanding how corporations work. Corporation works differently than a Valaverse, a Mythic Legions, Boss Fight Studios, a small company like that. But they're smart enough to know, hey, you know what? We can do what we need to do, and we can get people to do certain things. So, but if you wanted the Giant Man, it's there. You only have, an hour and 44 minutes left. I know how long because that's how much longer I have to go to give you guys 3 hours. I still think it's going to be a HasLab. I mean, I might be wrong, but I think that the Thunder Machine makes a perfect HasLab. I bought cigarettes for $165 with my friends before I ever smoked. Last month I paid $7 for a pack. It is what it is. Do you like and want it or not? If not, just pass and don't cry about it. I have no problems with complaining about certain things, okay? Because I do complain about certain things. I know, shocker, right? But there are some things that you have to just, you let other people make a decision. And there are people that specifically wanted to make sure that things wouldn't fun, things wouldn't, wouldn't. They want to make it harder because they don't like certain people, they don't like certain companies, and I guess that's your priority. But remember, man, if you believe in karma, karma is a bitch, man. And for me, I don't believe in karma. I just believe bad things will happen to people. Ryan says, let's be honest, there are collectors that just want to complain because that is what they enjoy. I agree. I agree. And again, it's like that in every walk of life. And don't get me wrong, complaining can be fun. Hell, I made a stream out of it at times. But yeah, you are absolutely right. And, G.I. Joe collectors are the worst. G.I. Joe collectors. Oh my God, I just want the original 13. And why won't they give this to us? And oh my God, this isn't original enough. And then when you get the original one, they're the same people that are going, oh, you know what? This line's just dead. It's never going to change. It's always the same. And once we die off, they're not making enough to change. And those same people are the same ones that when Molrat comes out or Wolf Spider comes out, they go, I'm not buying that. I have no connection to it. Well, yeah, you don't have a fucking connection to it because it wasn't around in the 80s. Isn't that hard to fucking figure out, you idiot? Whew, okay. Hi, Random. Random Diorama is here. I almost screwed up there again. I almost screwed up, but I did not. And Bick is here. I see Bick. I want to say Brick, but it's not. You're Bick. Patrick said, I loved your Tripwire video. You complimented the quality of the figures, accessories without insulting Banana EOS Spear Gun. Listen, because, not gonna lie. I mean, one of the hardest parts, and this is why people have an issue. This is why a lot of the YouTubers have issues, is when you get to know people in the business, people have a hard time criticizing stuff that they've done because they're scared they're not going to get interviews with them. They're scared that if they, criticize the soft weapons with G.I. Joe or with any brand, it doesn't matter what it is, if they criticize something, that they will no longer grant them interviews. And for me, the way that I see it is, if you are being critical of a product that is being made and you're being honest about it, there's nothing wrong with it. When you start insulting people and their families and what they do for a living, you've crossed the line. And I try not to do that. At times, it can be hard, but yeah. Yes, the line is dying. So I did see someone post, and again, this is the problem with the G.I. Joe forums, man. Like, someone posted something like, they've already done like 80% of the G.I. Joe figures. This line's not going to be around much longer, except for Lenny's working. I think he's already into 2025 or 2026, maybe even further along than that now. That was the last, I believe, that he mentioned it. And when someone said, there's like 500 figures between 82 and 94, he said, no one wants anything after 87. Okay, so what is it? So what you're saying is it's dying for you. Like, you're almost done with it. But when you say no one wants anything after 87 or 88, you're going, well, that's not exactly true. And you can take a lot of those figures that were made in the 90s and make them look pretty damn cool when it comes to classified, even if they look pretty stupid. Now, don't get me wrong, I want the other figures more too. But anyway, listen. Yeah, right. Not only were there, because there's the whole thing. There were over 500 O-ring figures. How many of the modern 4-inch figures are there? How many characters are there from how many characters are there from the comics that were never done? Billy. I still don't have a Billy. All I want is a fucking Billy. Is that asking too much? And then they're creating new characters, but then people say, "Hey, you know what? I don't want those because I have no nostalgic feel to it." All right, well, what do you want? Do you just want all classic characters? You know, all these people are like, they just need to give me all these. What was the thing? Someone wanted someone to come with Alpine because then they can have the trio. Footloose. Oh, they better give us Footloose with Alpine. All right, good luck, asshole. Good luck. I ain't giving you that shit. You know, and believe me, they've stopped reading a lot of what you guys say you have to have. Anyway, listen, I could go 3 hours on that, but I'm not going to. Maybe one week I will. All right, so I'm not frozen up. I'm just looking at some things. Okay, so this is perfect right here. Nolan, I hated Sergeant Savage, but I think the Sergeant Savage would look really good classified. I didn't like Sergeant Savage because it didn't fit in with my O-rings, and that's what I liked. And I was a different collector back then because I wasn't a collector. I just wanted O-rings, so I didn't care about any of these new ones. I didn't care about Sigma 6 and all stuff like that. But there are all those characters, and Lenny's already talked how he would love to tap into. That's what she said. How he wants to tap into all different lines of G.I. Joe lore. How I've even mentioned the movies before. As bad as the movies were, now you all have Footloose in your head because of James Lucas. Just remember that. I want Tiger Force Clinton's crystal ball. I don't want a crystal ball. No crystal ball. I totally lost. But like I think the movies, there were some really, really good. There were some really good figures that can be made out of it. The movies are garbage. All right, I'm not going to say that. Ray Paz, this is just pat myself on the back, so I'm going to read it. Dude, your chat with Lenny made me like the guy more. I could see he wasn't just some poser. No, he's not. And I had talked to him before. I mean, that's why I was able to get him on the show, because I talked to him before. He's a really good guy. Cares. Listen, what you hear is, I don't even think doesn't even begin to touch how much he cares about the product. He's wanted to do G.I. Joe, since he started. And I think it is in the right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there aren't other wonderful designers that G.I. Joe wouldn't be in good hands. But I think Lenny is a wonderful person to have as your brand ambassador and in designing everything that he's designed. He is a one-man show there. Again, I'll mention it. I'll say this again. G.I. Joe, Hasbro is a $1 billion company. G.I. Joe is not a $1 billion brand. You know what? That helps. I mean, that always helps. But again, the reason why I was able to get him on that show, and the reason why I could probably get other guys on the show, is because they like the fact that, the first thing Lenny said was, it's just chill. Like, he didn't have to worry about people bombarding him with questions, especially questions like that they can't answer. Like, yes, everyone wants a Hooded Cobra Commander answer because nobody will believe what they see, right? But it's like, listen, they can't answer it. So why are you going to badger someone? All they're going to do is say, you know what? Hasbro is going to put you on that do not talk to list, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So there's two ways to look at it. Do I not do interviews with someone because I'm not going to continue to ask something I know you're not going to answer? Because that's ambush. if that's what you want, if you want New York media where they're going to ask questions to piss people off, then God bless you. But that's, he liked the fact that you were actually getting to know him. Again, fuck it. I'll pat myself on the back. Find me another interview where they talk to Lenny and they talk to Lenny as a person and not just a G.I. Joe designer. Since he's been in charge of G.I. Joe, no one does it. No one, no one talks to them as their actual human beings. And again, the whole point of that series is to get to know people. I can talk about toys all we want, and that's what everyone in this community will do. So, all right. All right. We're going to get into this because I don't think there's going to be much news for quite some time. And I know this will sadden Ed tremendously, but Monster Force. So, according to what the Foosh said, and I have not looked into this, but I don't see why he would lie or why he would be wrong about this. Supposedly, they will not be announcing any new figures until Wave 1 hits, or Season 1, as they're calling it. So this is Halloween Boy. I believe it was Ed that actually, I believe it was Ed that posted it was actually Bobby B. Posted a little interview that the creator of Halloween Boy did. So Halloween Boy is his own thing, but he met the owners of Fresh Monkey Fiction, and they said, hey, we'd love to bring this into the line. So there's a whole backstory to Halloween Boy, and the Foosh Robo from the Foosh actually reads it. So if you want to know the backstory and you don't want to read it, go ahead over there, shoot on over there. And listen to what he said. But this is really cool. And again, I think this figure looks awesome. I think the orange looks really good. The guns are made by Gridiron, and as I mentioned before, I've been a person that says Gridiron are too expensive. Hopefully, we're going to get some sort of packs of weapons that are designed by Gridiron that won't be 3D printed and will be a lot cheaper. Again, I understand. I don't know the operating cost of Gridiron, and they seem to be doing well, so I'm not going to tell them they shouldn't do what they do. But I can't continue to spend that much. Although when I looked at my YouTube stuff and how many views they get, it's not a bad thing to continue to review those things because they do a lot of stuff. Nothing better than an orange and black figure. So yeah, this thing looks awesome, but we're not going to get anything. Look, another toy line to drain my disposable income. Well, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. I think you and Ed and myself are all screaming the same things, man, because it is they look so awesome. But I guess until we get the first ones, we don't really know. But I mentioned, I think to take a property that, in all honesty, is not original. And what I mean by not original is you're taking monsters that have been around for years and years and years, decades, and now you are interchanging them. And it's just like you're making this original line. You're making figures that will fit in with your G.I. Joe figures. You're making figures that will also fit in with Valorverse if you want to fit those in. You have looked, in my opinion, when you look at these army builders, and I believe this solely, they have looked at what Valorverse has done, and they have looked at the Joe community and seen how many of the Joe community are tired of the Valorverse and all the drama that they create, and people are bowing out of it, and they're like, hey, let us do this line, but also give you pure army men. So if you don't want to spend money on that company, then you can buy this. And I think this is going to hurt them. And it's great. I mean, it's great to have another line, but this has so much character to it. And say hi to Baldy Locks Reviews. Halloween Boy looks cool as fuck. Yes, he does. If you haven't checked out Baldy, check out Baldy. He's one of the good ones. He does a good job. He does a lot of the, he puts out shit. I'll just say it, okay? Before someone says you're talking behind his back, you put out a lot of shit on the Facebooks that drive people nuts because you misdirect people, and I'll tell you that afterwards if you want. But sometimes you misdirect people and you drive some people nuts. But I'm honest about everything, so you know me. Anyway, this guy is awesome. Okay. We made an hour and 31 minutes. Ed, maybe I will make it 3 hours. All right. Oh, yeah. So, another Hayatoy Star Trek figure. And I think this one looks really good. So this is Chekhov. Now, I think this looks really good. We'll quickly go through this. I don't know. I just think these look really good. I think Hyatt does a really good job of showing these. So this is the Chekhov figure. It's 4.1 inches. Now I hope they'll come out with a deluxe version where he has a Jeep that pins him against the gate. Anyway, but it looks good. You know what? It's their size, 4.1. It's really cool though. Matthew says these Jar Jar Abrams figures do not look bad to me. They are all misproportioned. I think they all look really good. I think Hyatt does a really good job when you're looking at them. Some of the figures look better than the others. Some not so good. Star Trek is all right, but not cool enough to drop money on it. But did pre-order that awesome Major Blood, and yeah, I really wish those were available here that we wouldn't have to ship overseas. So that's why I haven't really bothered with them. Because if I was going to buy them, I would just wait till there's a whole bunch of them. But when you're looking at the price of them, it's killer. So, but they do look good for the most part. And then the one that Whiskey was talking about is the Major Blood. Now, once again, proving that this is what they're just redoing the classified figures and the figures that were in the video game. So I would assume that you probably will get a different bat at some point. This Major Blood looks absolutely awesome. So let's say you don't like classified size, you don't like the 6-inch, but you really think that the Major Blood is good, but you'd much rather have it in a 4-inch scale. Here you go. You can get this Major Blood, which is the classified version. And again, there's only one guy designing these. But unfortunately, he's not designing these ones. He designed the classified ones. Yep, JLS, the detail on this blood is great. He still has that weird 6-shooter plasma cannon or whatever it is. But I think this one, it looks awesome. Like, they did such a good job of it. I think most of us had mentioned before that Major Blood was the first great character that came with the classified. And I think there were other ones. I thought that 00 Snake Eyes was great, but he's very basic. There's not much to him. I thought the Destro was great, but when this Major Blood classified came out, everyone saw what they could do. I'm even getting I'm even getting the 3.75 from Ross for backup troops. Do they have the we only have like one Ross, and it's like an hour away from here. I know they're starting to show up here, and they didn't have anything. Tony will tell you because I was pissed when I went in there. But yeah, this blood looks awesome. The detail is all there, taken directly from the classified. Without his helmet on, he looks weird. Like his head doesn't look right. Maybe it's just. Well, if you weren't over there, buddy, you wouldn't have this problem. What are you doing? Go lay down. Everyone loves you, but man. PNC, this is the Hiya Toy G.I. Joe line, but it's only available overseas. And it's probably because they've given the 3.75, I'm sorry, the 1/18th. They've given the 1/18th line over to Super 7, which I think there must have been an agreement that no one else can sell them here. No, he actually hit the elf box and it scared him because he felt he needed to be behind me. Buddy, I'm right here. All right. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. Anyway, but this thing looks awesome. And if you're willing to spend the overseas, and believe me, you can get these. And when something's overseas, it's not like you can't get things overseas anymore. We're going to talk about it. And yes. Elf. Not Elf. You guys are so mean. Even my moderator, you guys are mean. Elf. I know Elf because my sister's initials were Elf, and I used to call her Elf. You know, that Elf. Listen, we still do Elf on the Shelf. I still move it around. My daughter, who 14, still found it amusing last year at 13. So, not like they don't know it's not real, but she still found it amusing at times to come down and find it. So, but yeah, this figure it's a nice looking figure. But yeah, you can still, if you want to get stuff overseas, you can get stuff overseas. Well, from some places, some people ruined it for us. Anyway, I think most of these Highs look pretty good. I don't understand, like with when it comes to Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, the swords are just huge. They look like they should fit classified figures. So, Patrick on the Full Force was saying Diamond has the Hiya figures available to the U.S. Really? That's interesting. I'll have to look at that. Because again, I don't know this at all. Because I was told that they have nothing to do with marketing, so they don't know how that gets decided. But from what I can tell, it looks like the 1/18 scale was given directly over to Super 7, and they probably said there won't be any competition here in the U.S. So it sucks. I mean, it really does suck. But I mean, I'd much rather have this than anything that Super 7 has given us. Other than the mothership, I'll take that. Just not for $650. Again, it looks good. If you want it, him without the helmet, he looks awful. You can definitely see, you know, I think obviously the classified head looks better. Again, you give a bigger face sculpt, you can get more detail. For the most part, I'm not saying always, but for the most part, you get more detail on it. So, all right. And then you see the helmet, you know, like that looks way, way better. So, but for the most part, it is the classified in 4-inch scale. So if you don't like classified, you like the 1/18 scale, you can get this. It's all available. And then this popped up today. the page punchers. And man, KJ, this is one of the reasons that kind of set me off, is that people are going absolutely ape shit because it's not O-ring size and another size. Well, you don't have to buy it. Once again, you don't have to buy something. This is what McFarlane does. I heard someone say those aren't even classic covers. Like, oh my God, they're his own comic. He's just doing a comic and he's selling these page punchers for $8 for 3-inch figures. Like if you don't want them, you just keep walking. I mean, I think Robo from the Foosh Talks is best. Hey, if I don't want something, I just kind of walk away. And I hear these people complaining about the O-rings, and I'm going to say again, I know you don't want to hear this. I don't think there's that much demand for O-rings. I like O-rings, but for the most part, you see all these Kickstarters for O-rings, and it's the same people constantly backing them, and they're not getting huge amounts of backing like the 6-inch figures do, because people have moved on. And I'm not saying they'll never come back, but a lot of people would rather have the modern 4-inch. Chad talks about it all the time. He doesn't even like O-ring figures. He wants the 4-inch modern. So could you keep both of them going? Sure. Or all three of them. But for the most part, Hasbro doesn't want to do that. That's why you don't see the O-rings. It's not in their budget. Exactly. Like, and it's, again, it's not Hasbro making them. It's McFarlane. So it's like, it's not Hasbro going, oh, well, you know what? No one's going to want to buy G.I. Joe. Like, we put these out and they don't sell. Hasbro's not coming back going, oh, no one wants G.I. Joe. We should can the whole line. No, it's McFarlane that's doing it. He's the one that would decide. So do people expect them to be better than the DC Page Punchers? I think these are great for kids. A book and a toy for a low price. Okay, so Todd, this goes back to what I've said. Now, Articulated Chad and I have a total disagreement on this. He feels that, the G.I. Joe collectors now are just, they're toy collectors, and since everything is 6-inch, that's what he thinks that's why they want it, because they're toy collectors, not G.I. Joe collectors. I feel completely different. I feel the majority of the G.I. Joe collectors are just that. G.I. Joe collectors. They don't collect toys. That's why they complain about spending $50 on the Hasbro Pulse membership. They go, I don't buy enough on there. Oh, you don't buy anything else? No, I only buy G.I. Joe. Okay. Well, then you probably wouldn't get your money's worth. This is the reason why they were so excited over Super 7, because they were getting the look of the cartoon that they wanted, not realizing the horrible quality and the expensive price tag that is Super 7. They're looking at it thinking, oh my God, look at this. A company is finally going to make these G.I. Joes just for us. They're not making G.I. Joes for us. They're adding G.I. Joes to their Ultimate lines, which are $55 price point, which, shockingly enough, are showing up at Meijer now. I'm sorry, at Walmart. I've seen people post pictures that they have shown up at Walmart, including the SDCC exclusive from last year. That's great. Glad we spent the money on that, right? So, I look at it and I see that most G.I. Joe collectors are just that. They're G.I. Joe collectors. They don't understand what reaction are. They're bitching because, and believe me, I don't want the reaction in the crappy 5 points of articulation, but I don't want G.I. Joe in reaction form. They're bitching because they think that Hasbro is making these 5 points of articulation figures, and it's like, no, you got to understand, like, this is what Super 7 does. Whether you like it or not, and I don't like it, that's what they do. It is their line. So, again, it's one of those weird things that it's one of those weird things that's how it is. But yeah, I'll say it again. I totally believe. Yeah, and right now with all the exclusives that Joe has given you, just being a GI Joe fan, you're going to save a lot of money with that $50 price because there's no shipping. And believe me, if you order a wave of 5 and it comes in one at a time, they're shipping one at a time, and you're going to get hit with that charge every single time, that shipping fee, which I don't think anyone really wants to get hit with. So anyway, that's these. If you want them, they'll be showing up soon enough. They'll probably be all over. And hey, you know what? Maybe it gets a kid interested in G.I. Joe, right? Isn't that what this is supposed to do? Dad sees a G.I. Joe, says, oh, hey, look at this. A comic and a figure for $8. You buy it for your kid, hand it to your kid. Maybe your kid sees G.I. Joe, and next thing you know, he's looking at Classified, on those shelves. I mean, that's what's supposed to happen. Will it happen? I don't know. I mean, we all know, those are adult collectibles. All right. So let's get into Duke. So, as asked, I did order this. I do think it is the worst looking figure that they've done for the G.I. Joe line yet. Hopefully, because we know it's going to take at least 2+ years to get this. Maybe they will make some changes. Maybe they will hear the complaints and say, you know what, we need to modify the face. I don't know if Mezco is known for doing stuff like that, but they should. But head sculpt aside, the figure looks really, really good. The Duke looks bad to me. I agree. I don't even think the face looks bad in some ways. It just doesn't look like Duke. And I think that's, I think that's where the problem is. But he comes with a bunch of stuff. Eric Thurman, he seems to like him. Whiskey says, trying to get my kids into G.I. Joe, but they love video games more. They are currently up for adoption. And you know what? And that's kind of what I say. Like when people say like, hey, you know what? Toys are dead. Well, here's the whole thing. When our kids are our age, if they're collectors, they will be looking to collect action figures or collectibles that are based off of the video games they played. And I think a lot of people have a hard time accepting that, And I know Lenny tries with this. He tries to add new characters. And they really should probably try and build. They should probably try and build off the comic rather than their own lore. Again, if you watch the Lenny interview, when he talks about Cobra Island Roadblock, everyone was like, oh, this makes so much more sense now. Now I see why he's not heavy duty and why he's Roadblock and why he looks like that. But they didn't have anything, which really sucks. But anyway, so we have the screaming Duke head, and again, I don't think this looks anything like Duke. Someone actually said it looks like Road Pig, and I can see that. I can definitely see this looking like Road Pig rather than Duke. The Destro figure is absolutely awesome. So it probably has the exact same body as Destro. Oh, sorry. Probably has the exact same body as Destro. A lot of these will. I would assume Roadblock will be on the bigger buck. Snakehead and Storm Shadow should be on a smaller, thinner buck. But if you have Destro, you know it's an awesome figure. Okay, Tony, you don't like it. I get it. Oh, yeah. Mezco Destro was a home run. And again, I think that the Classified Destro is a wonderful figure. But Mezco, again, they made they made him worth $100 if you're willing to spend that much, you know. Oh look, this would be good for your Mezco Captain America. Yeah, I mean I could see that. I still think he's kind of ugly for Captain America too. I mean, they could just have America's ass. I've never liked the Screaming Duke, and again, what I was mentioning about the screaming face on that Daredevil, I think when you take away the eyes and the forehead and everything like that, you can kind of have a screaming. But when you're trying to scream and have the eyes and the nose and everything look like proper, I just don't think it works. But yeah, my hope is that they will change the head sculpt, that they will listen to what people said, and they'll be like, all right, you know what? We have 2 years. We know this thing's not in development yet. Right? There's no way this thing is in development yet. People kind of complained about it when they saw it at SDCC. So I'm kind of surprised that they're still doing it. That they still brought out this exact same one. Payne says, I pre-ordered the Mafex. Daredevil was no-brainer for me. So, yeah, the regular Duke heads are right, but hopefully they change that after reading the negative feedback. Yeah, that's what I hope. Because again, they have a lot of time. Like this is not like Hasbro showing off the figure, and it's like, hey, you know what? This is coming out in 6 months, but really 9 months or 10 months. But it's already done. It's just on the water. Duke, I'm screaming because I'm so ugly. My mama slept with Road Pig. I would hope Duke is older than Road Pig, but I wonder if they would. Well, I mean, they didn't do it. I wonder if they would even attempt that. I'm not saying you because clearly I can see your picture, but that is such a it's such an evil thing for people or a dirty thing for people. And again, I don't know why you're not proud of where you're at. Roblox, Storm Shadow, and Snake Eyes are either later or due in December. Yeah. Never believe a Mezco release date. I'm with you because I have them all pre-ordered. A matter of fact, Snake Eyes is the only one that I still have to pay for. I just put a down payment on it. The other one's already paid for, so I'm like, ship all those first, and you can hold off on the Snake Eyes. Well, I haven't even seen what Timber's supposed to look like. That's how messed up their stuff is. But yeah, I don't like the helmet. I don't know how you guys feel about the helmet. I can't stand this helmet. It just, I don't know. I think a lot of the times the helmets don't look good, but it is a more of a Vietnam era looking helmet. This face in this pose, I don't think it looks bad. I don't think that this face looks bad in this pose. But again, it's just, to me, it doesn't look Duke. I think of Duke as more of a pretty boy. They really should have given, a scepter that went through his heart. I'm going to keep pounding on that until we get a scepter that goes through Duke's heart. Lenny, are you listening? Are you listening, Lenny? I know I told you that we needed that. Yeah, right. I mean, it's a good figure. I just don't think it looks like Duke. And I ordered it, so I guess I can criticize it. I mean, I'm the stupid one to order it. I agree, Punk is decent. The haircut is cool. Probably looks better in person. I don't know about that because you also told me, that this looks way better in person. Remember? I remember you're at SDC and you told me, "Oh, this looks really good in person." And no, this looks like shit at SDC. It looks like shit in person. It looks like shit on the box. That Tiger Force Flint is like It is the figure that I have had the least urge to want to review or even have in my hands. Oh, KJ, Richard Sampson, he seems to agree with you. This Duke looks more like Steve Rogers. I see it now that, like you mentioned, Steve Rogers. I definitely see it now, KJ. And Richard, like, definitely see it. I don't see John Cena. John Cena is way, way more of a pretty boy. But I guess he kind of has like the strong chin line, but you can't polish a turd. Well, you can try. You're as bad as me. You're like, still gonna buy it. The worst thing about the Mezco, once the Mezco stuff starts rolling in, then, and I remember Bobby Valla was talking about it. He was talking about Mezco, and he's like, yeah, the thing about Mezco is you wait so long, but like once you start like pre-ordering stuff and the stuff starts rolling in, you feel like that's the figure I just paid for. When in actuality, you're paying for a figure you're not going to get for 2 to 3 years. So anyway, but he comes with nice weapons. He comes with everything. You know, Mezco does not hold back on everything that you get. Yeah, Patrick. Once I forget who said that it looked like Road Pig. I can't remember who said that it looks like Road Pig, but once I read that it looked like Road Pig, I was like, yeah, I can't unsee it either. So I'm with you, Patrick, and I had to pass it on so you guys can all be the same. Richard Sampson, classified classic Duke will be good enough for me. No need to pay so much for Mezco. You know, hey, listen, I'm totally with you. Like, I'm not one of those people that criticizes people and feel like, hey, you have to buy everything G.I. Joe or everything Mezco, or even spend $100+ on a figure. Because it's crazy. It really is. The figure that's coming out, at least what we've seen, that classic Duke looks awesome. I've heard people complaining about the face, and I'm like, what the hell are you complaining about, man? It looks like Duke should look. So, and I do want to say, are you new to the channel, or are you just tuning in? Because if you're new, I want to say welcome. If you've been here before, Matthew will tell me I'm an idiot and that I should have seen you before. But either way, welcome. But I did pre-order Daredevil. Oh my god, I love how that goes. Like, it's like, oh yeah, I can't spend that much money on that figure, but I ordered this one. Ooh, I want to agree with you, but Howie Long is one good-looking man. I hear women say that all the time, but I definitely do see the Howie Long. I can definitely see the Howie Long here. Just give him a Howie Long Raiders jersey. So, says, I am new to the channel. Got suggestions from all the videos I watch on the Giant Man Haslam. Well, you know what? Welcome and thank you. Every Monday night, if you guys don't know, anyone that's listening, there's 56 here. Everyone that doesn't know, every Monday night, 9 to after midnight, 3+ hours. Early on the stream, I will complain that I don't have 3 hours to talk about. We may hit 2 hours yet, Ed, so we may not hit it. I will be here talking toys. Then I ramble on about total nonsense. And some of you absolutely enjoy it, and that is awesome. So I appreciate every single one of you. I think I say that more than a lot of people. So, but I do. I really do. And you say you just subscribe. Also, we just went over 2,900 subs. Less than 100 now. I would assume around less than 100 to get to 3,000. I'm bad at math, obviously. Listen, you know what's funny? Here comes a. here comes an off-topic rant. I'm gonna remove this really quick. Here's an off-topic rant. People will correct me in the stream, and not here, but on the replay. When it came to One Piece, and someone said, "You can't remember the guy's name?" I'm like, "Man," I'm like, sit there and do a stream for 3 hours all by yourself. You're going to forget things. Things will just completely fade out of your mind. Things that you know, like the back of your hand. You'll start referring to the wrong character, even though you know what it is. But it's like, you just sit up here for 3 hours and do this by yourself with only the stream. And again, you guys know what happens. And again, if you can't make jokes at yourself, but understand, like, hey, you know what? It's going to happen. So it is funny. I always kind of laugh. And you always know the people that are being dicks about it and which ones are part of the joke. So imagine having millions of enablers. Wow, paradise. All right. Quickly, let's finish this Duke here. So he has a bunch of hands. You know my feelings on hands, but again, when you're getting into something like this, you should be getting a lot of extras. You get the 3 different heads. And the one thing, I don't know if they're all the same, and I found this out with the Destro. I got yelled at about this. So the inside of the Destro for the neck pet, for the peg for the neck, that ball joint, it is soft. So you can pop it on the different classified figures, especially the Destro classified, even if it has a different ball joint. And it's a soft rubber, so it can just kind of pop down, and you can fit it on other figures with the smaller ball joint or the larger ball joint. So it works out. So that's the excuse I'm going with. Now, what excuse? I don't know. What I say? That I forget things? Yeah. Possibly, Travis. I think one of these face sculpts will be better in person. Possibly. I don't know. I mean, again, I hope that they hear the negative reaction that they're getting, and because they have so much time to go and redo it. You know, Mezco is not pushing out stuff right away unless it's their own product. That's the only stuff that seems to go out right away. I think this is supposed to be out sometime next year. It ain't coming out next year. Let's be honest. We ain't stupid. Here are the weapons. We've seen these weapon blasts before. They're coming with some of the other Joes. I think Firefly. You got the pistol. You got the AR. I don't understand the rocket launcher. I don't understand how the rocket is supposed to be coming out. This is the one that kind of confuses me. But hey, it's there. But yeah. Bunch of grenades, bunch of smoke bombs that people are going to lose. Speaking of losing stuff, Ed, I still blame you for my fucking hand that I'm lost now. It's just gone. Huh? It just ran away. Stupid live stream we did. I love the fact that they give him the mud stomp. So you don't have to take this toy out in the actual mud, Ed, and ruin it. You have a mud stomp right here. He's got the shovel. He's got the helmet, the binoculars, backpack. And then he's got his little Snuggie. So, yeah, I'm not super impressed with the weapons. I'll be honest with that. They give you a lot. I think the AR doesn't do it justice because you don't have the magazine in it. I think once the magazine is in it, it will look a little bit better. There's no doubt about it. But the weapon below it, it's supposed to be some sort of grenade launcher, and I don't understand where that's coming from, right? I mean, I'm not crazy. Also, I want to point this out here. They do refer to it as a machine gun. 2 removable machine gun clips. I just like saying that because people got so mad at me when I referred to magazines as clips. And yes, I did my research on it, and I did see what the difference was between clips and magazines. So, yeah, I do know there's a difference. But the fact that Mezco literally calls them in their solicitation clips, I had to laugh about it. And they call this a machine gun when it's a submachine gun. A grenade launcher. I don't understand how this projectile physically can come out of here. But again, and we want to say hi to Ted Darklaw. We're going to be reshowing the commercial in just a bit. So there is your Duke if you are interested. Again, it wasn't too much to talk about. Let's see where Giant Man is right now. So Giant Man has hit 12,432. It's going to hit all the tiers. I'm calling it right now. All right, so I'm assuming you are in the military. Does it drive you nuts when people call it clips and not magazines or mags? I mean, I had some people that were pretty polite about it. I had some people that were kind of polite about it. But yeah. Allison says, Giant Man is at HasLab as a render. He's not a real figure yet. You are correct. And you know what? If all these people would have backed it already, they probably could have already started production on it or getting it up to that point. The Hiss, as long as it's taken to get it, you know that they were already in those design phases because it had blown by every stretch goal. So they had no reason not to really get on it. And same with the Dragonfly for the most part. But, you people, you want to listen to other YouTubers, toy tubers, and do what they say. But this thing is, 12,460 right now. So I think that it's going to hit all the goals. I backed one because I'm not rich. And I have 2 3D printed Hisses. So, all right. I could give 2 shits less. People get too anal about the dumbest shit. All right. Listen, I had no problem. And I know I call the clips all the time. And when I had no problem when someone corrects you or explains to you the reason why. And the truth is, there is a difference between an ammo clip and a magazine. It's, again, most people that aren't gun aficionados don't fully understand that. But when you look into it, it's like, oh, that actually makes sense why there's two different things called that. But there were some people that were really mad about it. There were other people like, hey, the only thing that drove me nuts is that you kept referring to the magazine as a clip. But, it wasn't enough to make me, mad. Other people just they're pissed. But then again, you call Destro Zartan on accident or vice versa. I forget what it was. And people get all on you. All right. So, before we get into the topic, I'm going to take a short little break. Actually, we're just going to play the commercial once again. So, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, if you haven't hit that like button, please do so. It definitely does help the algorithm. We're going to talk a little bit. We're getting the topic, and then at the end, since we're going to be coming to the end, we will discuss the HasLab a little more. So, thank you to Hella Dope Toys, who granted me this wonderful thing. And once again, I guess if you really want to see the whole legacy of Mossman, you're going to have to always tune into this channel to see it. So here we go.
Oh, hey guys, what's going on?
Mossman, what are you doing back here?
Oh, you see, so Skeletor, he had to go to the grocery store. He had to go buy more barbecue Pringle chips. And so he's put me in charge here for a little bit. In charge of y'all. He said, man, Mossman, I have to go to the grocery store, so I need to put you in charge of Snake Mountain. Mwahahahaha.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
that's
Bob,
Skeletor.
yeah,
That's
that's
Skeletor. Right.
Skeletor said since I was in charge, I could use the credit card and maybe go online and buy some action figures for myself.
Oh, some action figures sound kind of nice.
Yes. Maybe we can go to Big Ben.
Now, Beastman, we don't say that around here. We go to HelloDopeToys.com. They have the best prices in town, and they ship everything in one business day. One business day, Beastman. That means I buy it, and it comes to my house super fast, and they pack it all real nice. So when I go to do my YouTube reviews for my 5 subscribers, I'll be like, oh, look at this minty fresh packaged box that I got from HelloDopeToys.com. So what are we waiting for, y'all? Let's go get that credit card and head on over to HelloDopeToys.com right now before they run out of all the good stuff.
All right. So if you are not following Hello Dope Toys on Instagram, and on YouTube, you need to be. So I asked them to do a commercial for me, so I can, if I need to run to the restroom, you guys don't have to just look at a blank screen. But anyway, if you don't understand that whole thing, you need to go to Hello Dope Toys after the stream. Just look at their videos and watch the Mossman. It was something that Ted kind of did, having no idea that it was going to catch on the way that it did. And he's done 2 different ones. One is like 2.5 minutes long. The second one is 5 minutes long. And now he's working on his third one, which will, I believe, debut Random's Mossmobile, which is absolutely awesome. If you haven't checked out Random Diorama, not diarrhea, Random Diorama on Instagram, he does a wonderful stream showing you how, just sitting down for hours, just doing random dioramas. I'm at a loss for the words, even though it's in his name. But he does a wonderful job doing all these dioramas, showing people how to do it. And it's great. I mean, it really, really is. So check out Random Diorama. And he's such a good guy, too. And I believe if you look at that, and it does say he does help you do some of the voices for the Mossman videos. The Mossman videos are just absolutely funny. Ted is really funny when he does it. So, but you're not buying it there. That's what's even more funny, is that you can't buy that because that is a Walmart exclusive. But Ted, so yeah. See, the original thing was Ted said like, he had to get his money out of his $40 figure. That was way too much. It was not worth it. No, when you see Mossman's card, you're going to be like, it's awesome. A matter of fact, I think on Instagram, I think they do have a picture of it, because Random did it like during their stream. He just started doing it. He kind of threw it together really quick. It was, yeah. Anyway. Okay. So, you know what we didn't talk about? Oh, there's one thing one more thing that I did want to discuss. So let me present something else. So we quickly got to discuss the Cobra Mothership. I meant to discuss this a second ago. So everyone knows that they're doing this Cobra Mothership And I think it looks awesome. And it's one of the things that does bother me. It is absolutely awful timing. It has 1,400 backers already. Way more than I thought that it was going to get. Now, who knows? I've also had my questions about whether or not they actually hit the backing goal for the Cat's Lair. Some people disagree with me. I'm not so sure about it, but whatever. It's funded, and I hope everyone that got it got what they wanted. Well, yesterday was the early bird special, which was never going to make it. Now, what I have an issue with is here that they have the different bonuses, which I don't know if it's going to hit the tiers, even if this thing does get backed. But they immediately took away, they grayed out the early funding because it didn't back. Now, this is where I have a problem. You're asking people not only spend $500 on this thing, it's $100 shipping, right? And then probably $50 in taxes. So you're looking at $650 roughly. And before someone says, well, you can't look at shipping, I do, because they're not going to allow me to pick it up. If you live in California, you can't say, hey, just ship it to your place and I will swing by and pick it up. They're not going to do that. I believe that there are more than 1,400 people that support O-Ring. But again, 1,400 is still enough for Hasbro to want to do it. I also said that I truly do believe that if this was marketed to O-Ring rather than putting the crappy reaction figures in there, showing how O-Ring figures would be, gave you all new O-Ring figures. Just drop the whole reaction figures, that I think you would be doing better. But again, for $500, and I don't expect them to eat the cost on shipping, but I don't believe that you should just do a flat $100 shipping. The reason why they do that is because if it costs $50 to ship it to someone and it costs $125 to ship it to someone else, they're breaking even. I guarantee you they're making money. It's like when people used to sell on eBay or even now, and they say, hey, shipping is $15, and you already know that, the shipping is only going to cost $5. That person's adding that into their cost because of everything. But when it comes to this, it's difficult, and it's big. It is large, but I can tell you, we get copiers shipped to us that weigh more than this, that are in bigger boxes, that when they're on a freight, they cost less to ship. No, I cannot bring myself to get this thing. Just not worth the money for me. Plus, reaction figures are so horrible. Well, again, he did say that it is made to fit with the O-rings, hence the reason why they are doing O-rings. I believe that if it doesn't fund, and again, here's where he's missing out. These figures here, they don't get made either. If this thing doesn't fund and you backed all these, you backed 5 O-rings because you're like, oh, wow, you know what? I like those O-rings for $75 for 5 of them. Is not a bad price. Well, you're not going to get them. And I think this is going to be him saying, hey, we tried doing O-ring. You guys didn't want O-ring. So we're just going to stick to our crappy 5 points of articulation. And that's not what people want with G.I. Joe. And again, I understand, I even talked about this earlier, that this is what reaction is. And people have to know what reaction are, but at the same time, Brian Flynn and all of Super 7 needed to know that, hey, that is not what G.I. Joe collectors wanted. No one's ever wanted 5 points of articulation. You can do it with Transformers and He-Man and all these other properties because they never had 4-inch figures. But when you do it with the G.I. Joe, you go, whoa, wait a minute. For $20, a lot of these figures I can go buy on eBay for the vintage, and they have more articulation and they look better. But the fact that this early bird funding didn't make it, so they've already graded out, they should really go, you know what, we're going to give it to you. Because if you watch the video as it goes through, there's a specific spot for it, which means now that's going to be missing. Thank you for joining. Hey, watch it on the replay, and I hope that we will see you every Monday going forward from here. But hey, you got to hang in if you want to hear the topic. They never get to the topic till the 11 o'clock hour. So that's all that I wanted in this show. They grade this out and just remove it. I mean, if you're not going to give it to people, rather than say, hey, you could have had this had you done it in the early bird. The other thing was, and I wanted to ask Chad, but Chad wasn't on the stream with me on Saturday. I was under the assumption, hey, if anyone that backed the Cast Slayer, tell me, don't they charge you right away? Like the moment you back it, doesn't Super 7 charge you, even if it hasn't hit its goal yet? If someone can tell me, that would be awesome, because I thought that's what it was. Anyway, enough with that. Just want to quickly hit that. We're actually going to remove this completely. Boom. We're just. And then we see Giant Man is back here. Let's refresh Giant Man and see where that. All right. So okay, so let's see here. Yeah, they charge you right then and there. So I say it's why they got payment plans at the start for it. So, but what you're saying is, if I went and backed this right now, even if I did the payment plan, they're going to charge me even though it hasn't fully funded. See, that's where them and Mattel completely screw up. The fact that they charge you the moment it hits the funding goal, because it really should be at the end. No, it did not. I don't believe. Yeah, they'll just refund you, but again, that's a big chunk of money. And even regular Kickstarters don't do that. Even regular Kickstarters don't do that. And again, this is why people end up having an issue. And I don't have a problem with Kickstarters. I mean, I'd rather Hasbro not do a Kickstarter. I'd rather them charge me for when it funds. But how many people would bail on it by then? How many people, if the Hiss Tank was about to fund, would be like, "Oh, dude, I don't have the money. I gotta bail on it now." So I understand why they do it. But I don't like that. That's just me. That's just me. All right. So let's get to the topic. And if you've been watching the channel, you've probably heard me go off at times. Not going to sugarcoat this for you, Travis, because you've driven me nuts over the past fucking month. I mean, I could sugarcoat it. I don't sugarcoat shit. So I know I've told you this numerous times. And I want you to understand that I had wanted to do something like this for quite some time. I think I did it towards the beginning of me doing streams, and I kind of want to come back and retouch toy tubing streams. And over the past month, there's been reasons to come back to this. And now this really and we're going to touch on a bunch of different things. And listen, if you are a toy tuber or a YouTuber that just happens to catch this and say, hey, understand that I watch a lot of different things on how to not just grow your channel, but how to create better content. And again, I'm not perfect. I have little ring lights. I don't have the greatest camera. I don't have the greatest mic. Hence the reason why you hear, Roman over there and shit, when he makes noise. But there are some things that when you watch as much as I watch, and again, I'm not the only one. I'm nothing that I'm just gonna say is like, oh my god, he found the special, he found this special sauce for it. I cannot believe I used that phrase, but yeah, not like I found the special recipe to make something work. Hell, I'm closing in on 3,000 subscribers. It's not like I'm just smashing through it. I've seen other toy tubers that have just blown through everything else. Yes, I know. I need a soundboard. And I need a new computer first. So, when it comes to doing toy tubing or anything where you are in a select group, you have a small window of people to work with. You have to take everything into consideration of what you're doing. If I was reviewing Apple products, I'm going to get a bigger chunk of people because everyone wants to hear whatever the new iPhone is, what the new iWatch is, what the new iPad is going to be. So you're going to get more people, but you still have to kind of scale it down for doing toy tubing. And a lot of what it comes down to is consistency. And I mentioned this before, but if you're not consistent with stuff, if you don't have a plan, and this works in all walks of life, this is really no different. If you're not consistent with stuff, yeah, you might get some people in, but the fact of the matter is, you're not going to grow. Right here, Action Figs. Lawrence gets his YouTube tips from Viper Island. That guy knows his shit, yes. Right here, Action Figs. Perfect example. He decided to start doing a stream with his son. They decided on 8:30 on Tuesdays, right? 8:30 on Tuesdays? That's where he's at every time. Geek Dad Life is at 9 o'clock every Sunday. Toy Anxiety, 9:30 Tuesday. Pains, 9:35, if I remember correctly, on Fridays. Yeah, but you asked to be on the show, and I just don't do that. I'll be more than happy to do another stream with you. Mondays I don't have guests on. Yes, I can invite anyone I want. I can. I can do that. I choose not to. You seem to take offense to it. I don't know why. But anyway, so there's a lot to it. Okay? So when it comes to growing the channel or streams, to get a loyal following, you really do need something that, for the most part, is solid. Now, that's when it comes to live streams. But one of the biggest things, and again, Toy Habits. I have no idea when Toy Habits is on. Mike, Toy Saurus, I love you guys, but I have no idea when you guys go on. You guys don't seem to have a set date or set time. But I gotta say this, they defy the logic because they get like 200 viewers when they go on. But yeah, dude, I'm not trying to bury you, man. Like, dude, I'm not trying to bury you. Like, seriously, like, you just brought this out. That's just the difference. Then the guy froze up. Go figure, right? Why am I freezing up? I ain't got enough shit going on here. All right. Yeah, let's see here. And okay, so now we're back. Again, everything. I think I just heard my son get really mad. I just heard my son get really mad. So he's doing something on the stream on his end that probably just froze everything out. Okay. Anyway, So if you want to stay consistent, you really got to when it comes to live streams. But live streams are not what grow your channel. Live streams, really, what they do is they create this wonderful interaction where people feel like they get to know you and you get to know them. You know, that's where you grow this interaction where people become loyal to you. I don't like saying fans because I'm not some. What the fuck? Yeah, so everything's freezing up, and I have no idea why. Right now, everything is freezing up, and I don't mean to. All right. All right, are we back? All right, so back to my live stream thing. Yeah, of course, Tony. Yeah, difficulties while I'm trying to discuss everything. All right. So anyway, live streams, you grow this connection with people. When people see you reading the comments, when you're talking to them, when when you're interacting with them, like that's where they feel like they get to know you, and you get a strong following. Again, I don't say fans because listen, we're not fucking fans here. We're a bunch of toy collectors. But it's just like trying to find the proper words. It just keeps you connected with them. But if you want to grow your channel, what you really want to do is you want to do some sort of videos. Now, for me, I do the video reviews. So this is where a lot of the stuff came from. All right. So I want to show some stuff, and you don't have to be first when you're doing reviews or anything else. So this is all as of today. So I was the first person to get the buzzer review out there. I think I've been at first a couple times. It's not really a big deal. It does help to a point. As you can see, I'm sitting at 5.1K views on this. Best video that I've done so far. I've seen a lot of people, Shark Eyes, he's got like 8,000 on it, right? I've gotten no views on any that are that close. Now I'm in the algorithm. So yeah, when this came in and I got the review out, and yes, I definitely wanted to get it out. And as you can see, 8 days ago, we're sitting at 5.1. But this guy here, who I do not know who he is, Black Sky Reviews, I never heard of him before. He dropped the video about 3 hours after I got mine. He got his about 3 hours after, or he dropped his about 3 hours after I got mine, right? And as you can look, this was as of today. He has 520 views. That's good. He's also sitting at 1.8 thousand subscribers. So it's not like he doesn't have a lot of people that subscribe to him, right? And he has a bunch of classified videos and other videos. But my guess is somewhere within the keywords, I don't know what would be different. G.I. Joe, classified, Dreadnought Buzzer. Maybe that he's putting G.I., G.I.Joe. Maybe that messes up the algorithm. I don't know. But somewhere along the lines, he's not in the algorithm, but you can see here he is, 8 days. So he had it like 3 hours after I did. Here we have Bees Battleground. He dropped his 6 days ago. He's sitting at 3.5. So as you can see, he's in the algorithm. He pushes out videos like crazy, and we know it. And again, it's not about just dropping, being the first and being that the only reason. You have to stay consistent. That's how you get in the algorithm. That's how people find you, and that's how people subscribe to your channel. If I go through all the different channels if I went through all the different videos that I have, and I looked at videos that helped me or got me subscribers, it's not with live streams. It is all with reviews. And people tune in to hear you talk. If they like the way you're reviewing something, or they'll get Ken from Toy Connection. If they like what they're doing, you know, they will tune in to hear what they have to say. Yes, you're busy. I understand. But you act like you only want to do a video if you're the first one. But stay consistent. You did that top 10 video and you got like 8.5 thousand views, right? So here you look at the next one here is Kyle Peterson. Now this guy has pushed out so many videos. He has so much stuff. He has so much content on there. 4 days ago, he's sitting at 4.2. So he's even past Bees Battleground, right? So what I'm showing is that, like, you have to stay consistent with the stuff. You know, I'm sorry. So you have 10K. So all right, awesome. But if you want to do reviews or any type, this is what you need to stay consistent. So here's the next one, Bees Battleground. He dropped this tripwire a month ago. Now, there are so many tripwire reviews, and they've been out for over a month. As you can see, he's sitting at 4K. Now, we know Bees, he's my nemesis. I tried figuring out his algorithm, how he does it. That's how he became my nemesis. And we'll discuss that on Thursday. This one here by 209 EDD, Ed, 209 Ed, which I do believe is a reference to RoboCop. He dropped his a month ago too. He has 433 views, 615 subscribers. I don't subscribe to him. I have seen his stuff before. He has a bunch of videos. Again, I would say he's probably not in the algorithm. As you can see, G.I. Joe Classified Tripwire. I dropped this today. Man, that is a handsome looking guy. God damn, that guy's good looking. Anyway, I dropped this 2 days ago, 1.5 views. Again, algorithm. People tune in, they want to hear me. But I've already gained 10 plus subscribers on this one. And that's just because you're getting new people. It's getting out there. You're staying consistent. This is how you grow your subscriber base. And then I'll show Kyle Peterson again, 2.1. He dropped it 1 day ago. Again, he pushes out so much content that everyone knows where to look for his stuff. So part of the thing, if you want to be successful with your YouTube channel and you want to grow your subscriber base, is you have to stay consistent with something that you're doing, whether it be live streams. Again, I don't believe live streams grow many subscribers. And I've heard other YouTubers say the same thing, not toy tubers, but YouTubers in general. They are constantly, they're like, listen, doing videos, because when people are watching a stream, they're not looking to subscribe. A lot of people, I know I don't ask very often. I don't ask people to subscribe while I'm on the stream. I guess I kind of assume everyone is, but your real goal is to hit that 1,000 and get monetized. And then everything else after that is just kind of gravy, because you don't have to be subscribed to someone for YouTube to show you. Again, me hitting 3,000 or coming close to 3,000 here, that's just going to be a pat on the back for me. It just means, all right, you know what? I got another 1,000 now that I'm shooting for. But it's really about staying consistent. And again, a lot of this came up. Again, I wanted to discuss this before because you were driving me absolutely nuts. So I thought this is the perfect time. But listen, you get to figure in, listen, even if you don't have a lot of time, do it when you have time. It doesn't have to be right away. If people like what you're doing, your content, and it doesn't have to be reviews. It could be something else. if you want to do the top 10 or whatever, I don't understand that completely because it seems weird to do a top 10 when they're not in order. And that's due to how Hasbro has been shipping stuff. Then do that. You find something that works. Again, there are people that are killing it in the YouTube world making money just for the fact that the content that they're putting out doesn't cost them anything. I can tell you, I've broken even with 2 figures. 2 figures that I've reviewed. One was Falcon, which took its sweet old time. And the other one was the Buzzard because it did get out there early. So, yeah, people were looking for it. But again, as you can see, 3 hours later, someone dropped it and mine did well, had well more views. And that's, I think, just because I was already out there. I'm the grumpy uncle. I don't think I'm all that grumpy. Well, people might disagree. So anyway, the one thing again that you want to do again is I don't think live streams build your subscribers. And I've heard again a lot of YouTube say the same thing. Your videos and you having a specific continuity that you're doing. Again, I do reviews every now and then. I'll do some other things. If you have stuff, I've talked to Tony numerous times, like, hey, you know what? You need to start doing videos on your customizing because those are evergreen stuff. That's evergreen stuff. People are going to come back to it. So when you're monetized, people will come back because they're like, man, how do I paint eyes? Well, you have a whole tutorial on how to paint eyes. Reviews are like a dime a dozen. Like they're coming. You have a week, like 7 to 30 days, of them actually getting views, and then they're done. They kind of come and go, and you don't really grow from there. The other thing that you want to do when doing a channel is your branding. I started off with what you saw in the background before, the G.I. Joe logo that I had my daughter just kind of do. It's really bad. Not because of her, but it's really low quality. And I really noticed that when I started trying to do stuff. But I changed it to have the Detroit skyline in the back with the American flag back there. That's probably what Risky Tango really likes, seeing that. But then I wanted to do something different. And this Vision Streetwear one, the new one that I have, I love it. At first, I was kind of like, it's okay. It's what I asked her to do. And the more I looked at it, the more it caught on. You want to brand stuff. And you want your branding to be the same across all your platforms. Instagram, Twitter, if you have a Facebook group, TikTok, whatever, you want it to be the same. You don't want it to be all over the place. I can tell you right now, and Travis, I'm just going to use you as an example. It's not that I don't like your new logo, but I still have a hard time realizing what it is. You had a very distinct logo that I knew, and when I saw it, I knew that was a Toy Kind of Mood. Tony changed his at an early stage, so I see Tony Figs, now I know it. If Ed went and changed this, I'd be aggravated because I wouldn't know when Ed is around. I'd be looking for Ed, super pissed off. Again, I have no problem with the new logo. That's not what I'm saying, KJ. I'm saying that I see it and I'm like, oh, that's Toy Kind of Mood. Where before the other one was, I knew it right away. If the Full Force changed it, you'd be like, who the hell? Oh, hey, wow, look, Chris McLeod changes logo. And again, it's okay because companies change their logos all the time. I mean, it's not like it doesn't happen, No, you won't. You have an awesome, awesome logo. Again, I'm not criticizing the logo. That's again, see, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I still see it, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, yeah. But and then the other thing, if you want to grow your community, and I think a lot of people have seen it. Oz and I have talked about this numerous times, and some people disagree with this. You don't go on other people's channels, other people's streams, and promote your stuff. There's the one guy that goes on the Full Force, Peppermint Patty, always trying to promote Sergeant Slaughterhouse. It drives me nuts. I believe you go in there, you talk, you chat. If someone else brings up your stream, you say, oh, hey, say thank you, whatever. Eventually someone will click on that little thing and be like, oh, hey, you know what? Oh, you have a channel. Let's see what's on that channel. If someone likes you, if people know who you are, I'll promote Oz, Ed, everyone that I enjoy. I will promote them because they're friends of mine. They're people that I like. I want other people to hear it. But if I see someone in my chat, and Matt already knows this, like they get a warning, like, all right, that's it. Like you promoted your stuff. And we haven't had this issue because I've made it pretty clear. But you don't go promoting your other you don't go promoting your stuff because no one has come in and no one's come here to hear about someone else's stream. You know? And it's good because I think more people are starting to learn that. And again, you'll get more out of it because someone is going to, like, again, I'm going to promote your shows. I mean, how many shows and people have I promoted in the 3 hours that I've been on here? I've talked about Oz. I brought up Tony's Figs. I brought up Payne's Toy Samples. You know, I mean, I have no problem because, listen, there's nothing that I know about YouTube that is some sort of special formula. It is all stuff that if you take a second, now I will listen. There is no promoting this asshole. All right. And that's what he is. No one should be listening to him because he's just utter trash. You know? And then, hey, you know, listen, if you want to take a run at me, then take a run at me. You know, if you want to sit there and throw shade about how people with under 13,000 followers are getting, you know, are getting interviews with Hasbro people, then so be it. You've decided to stand your ground on something that is absolutely stupid and don't even understand what the fucking thing was about. And I think I made it clear I have no problem telling anyone what I think. So listen, if you want to take a run at me and that's your opinion. But yeah, it's, you know, it's one of those things where I have no reason to hide stuff that I've learned because I'd rather help people out than people sit around and learn it the wrong way or learn it the hard way, not the wrong way. Because I just watched a lot of YouTube shit. Nick Nimmin, vidIQ, Daniel Batista, like all these guys, like they've done wonderful stuff. But yeah, it's just one of those things where, you know, there's a lot of ways to grow a channel. But again, if you're going to do reviews, if you want to do reviews, don't worry about being first. Do them. People want to hear your voice. You'll get there, Punk. Just be patient. Listen, I'm not worried about getting there. That's not my concern. I'm not the one that was upset that I got an interview with Lenny and I have under 13,000 and I have under 13,000 subs. Again, it's a pat on the back. That's truly what it is. Believe me, I'm not worried. I've said it so many times. If I sat up here and acted like, I don't know, the channel's grown. I don't know that the live stream's grown. Listen, we have 37 people. This is actually a bad stream. And I don't say a bad stream, but a low viewed stream. But I mean, I'm self-aware, and I watch the stuff, and I watch how everything has grown. So I just kind of wanted to fill in, like, if anyone ever has any questions, if they're trying to grow their channel, like, you can reach out to me. I know PNC has digital diarrhea. I've reached out and tried helping out so many people, just from what I've learned, and a lot of people would disagree with me. And I even mentioned to Brick, because I told Brick about some things before, and he's like, I just want to have fun. And now, as his channel is growing, he's starting to see what I was saying. Like, it's not about growing your channel it's not about just growing your channel. It's about giving the people that watch you a better viewing experience. And with that becomes growth. It's like, I truly do believe most bodybuilders would be happy if they could grow without getting stronger, because who really wants to lift super heavy weight? But with size comes strength, and vice versa. With strength comes size. So anyway, that's it. I don't know if I hit all the things I wanted to, but we are coming to the end of the HasLab. So let's tune into this. And let's see what they have. Let's see where it's going. Again, with this, I just think I have things I have to say. And again, I don't shy away from stuff. I don't always go out of my way to say stuff. But yeah. So let's add this. Share screen. I know other people are doing the HasLab thing right now, but hey, this is my day. We all know that. I'm trying to read. Damn it. Again, anyone that's ever used StreamYard realizes this thing will start to skip like fucking crazy when you're trying to hit someone's comment. Sometimes you're just curious about the opinion of who you're subscribed to. Yeah, no, again, I get that. Well, you know what? I had kind of talked about doing something like that for channel, like for members only. If I did what grinds my fucking gears, I would have to do it on the members only, channel members only, because oh man. And I think I froze up. And it's what StreamYard is telling me up here. But I never hold back what I say. Well, I'll take that back. I have no problem saying what I feel, but I don't say everything that I think. Look at that. Couldn't even make 3 hours. Good thing HasLab is ending soon, so you have a filter. So, okay, listen. If I'm not freezing, then I guess it's just on my end that it's showing up, which is really odd. But all right. And it's showing me over here. Did anyone tell Punk that he has the best logo of the American flag? Was a brilliant idea, brother. Hey, listen, that was all because if you go and look at my old stuff, it was the G.I. Joe logo, and it was them like throwing up the fist. And when I decided to want to change it a little bit, I wanted to put the flag behind it because that's supposed to be there. And then I did the Detroit skyline. I'm just not I'm not a good artist. I'm not good with Photoshop, so I'm not able to do it all that well. I would love to have this in high def, like a really good HD picture where I could put it on a shirt or something like that. So, but I do appreciate it. All right. So, are we going to hit the 14,000? Who here has backed this? Has anyone backed it? Because I'm really interested to hear if anyone here has backed it. Oh my God. Oh, remember, there will still be some stuff that will come. Will it magically hit that 14,000? Well, yeah, I know you didn't. I like this. Not my broke ass. It was tempting just because I didn't think. I do think that it's a good price and a good product for what they're giving you, but if I was a Marvel Legends guy, I would have been all over this. Oof. Oh. Now we always know there's always a few that come in like a few minutes late, but man, that is close. Yes. I have not, but if I were doing Legend, I probably would have. Again, I think it was a good price for what they were giving you. Yeah, I'm not really. I'm not shocked with the people that watch my stream. Like I said, I never planned on being a GI Joe, solely a GI Joe streamer. But again, I kind of know what the channel's become. All right, so it funded at 13,626, and you cannot back it anymore. So. Chucko, Mesco, Snyder Cut, and this. Might as well put your credit card in the Hey, listen, if Hasbro doesn't change some of these G.I. Joe, some of the G.I. Joe stuff, they are going to be, as I said earlier, there's going to be a lot of credit cards declining on December 1st because those, it looks like when they put out like, hey, will ship by this date, or they definitely will. They will charge you that day, and everything is set to come out December 1st, other than Shooter. Shooter is the only one that's set to come out a little bit earlier. All right, so we wake up in the morning and find out this thing hit 14,000. What do you? Also, I have no idea where it's going to go, but I'm excited for that. And need to save room for the Hiss Tank and the Vanguard. Luckily for me, I'm out with like I said, I'm pretty much done with Valaverse as it is. I'm not saying I'll never pick up anything of theirs, but as you can see, I'm not really covering it anymore. It's just a line that I don't need to be involved in. So, look at that. 13,800 $876. So I want to ask Richard here if this comes up. Richard, if it's your first time, I have to apologize if there's any lag. I see lag on my side. So I bought one action figure in the Steel Brigade and the head ball joint broke. Not buying any of those figures in the weapons packs. So the one that broke on you, was it the Night Ops one? Because I know there was a lot of issues with the Night Ops and them breaking. The one thing that I will say about Valaverse is that he has done a wonderful job of coming back and really making sure that the figures are they get better. Not everyone does that. You know, he had a lot of issues out the gate with that stuff. The weapons packs are usually great, but I have so many weapons I don't even know what to do with. So I don't think it's going to shut down Valaverse, but I definitely think it's gonna hurt him. I don't want to get into too much, but he's attacked too many people that I think that a lot of people are just like, hey, I'm done with that. And now you, like I said, you have this Monster Force stuff, and it's awesome. All right, let's refresh this one more time. And then I can kick it off the stream, and then we can close up. All right, so it's still sitting, what, 124 under 14,000. So we'll remove that from the stream. I'll look at that later on. So what do you guys think? Do you think that it will hit the 14,000 before we wake up in the morning magically? Look at this. Cannot wait for Monster Force. It's just so good. I know Ed and I talk about it all the time. Yep, the SDC or the SDS, that whole series was awesome. They just did such a good job with that. So, Oda said, I've enjoyed the Valaverse all along, but I've had enough troopers since a couple colorways ago, so I'm a little turned out until the next week. That's, to me, that's been one of their biggest issues. I understand reusing the molds to get your money's worth, but you've had $3.50. Every figure is the exact same. They have all the exact same articulation points. They're the exact same height. I'm not going to say, yeah, they've had QC issues like anyone. I don't, that doesn't bother me because they've been taken care of. But I think that a lot of the Action Force buyers were buying it because it complemented their Classified. And when Classified started doing so well and started just producing figure after figure after figure, I think a lot of people started backing away. And I think that's the reason why you hear less and less attacks at Hasbro from that camp, because they know now, like, they need them to survive more than Hasbro needs them to survive. And now you have Monster Force coming out. Like I said, just giving the regular Army Troopers, if you don't like what you hear coming out of there, you can just jump on the Monster Force, and you have all these figures that you can use as backup characters. But if you like zombies, if you like monsters, I think Monster Force has hit this. They hit a niche that it's like, we're going to grab military people, we're going to grab zombie people, we're going to grab monster people, and we're going to hit all of this, and so many people can pick it up, and they're just going to love it. But yeah, Alex Machis says Classified, Action Force, and Monster is going to be awesome world building. You're right. There's going to be so much to do. Ed says the Monster Force Live is my highest performing stream. Robo had talked about how they've done such a wonderful job having no product in hand, but constantly giving us a snippet of what's going to come to keep it fresh in our minds. And yeah, one classified figures. Yeah, one classified figures out the menu weapons. That's one less reason to supplement. I'm not really sure what you're trying to say. I think you're trying to insult the bendy weapons. And believe me, you won't hear me. I will give you reasons on why we have bendy weapons. I will not try and justify the bendy weapons. That is for sure. Action Force was supplemental line, and instead of diversifying the line, expanding the world, introducing new characters, they talked mad shit instead. And that's one thing that's really hurt them. And they really went after people. And they still do. And I think it really hurts them because I'll say it again. The Valiverse figures are wonderful figures. They made improvements on figures. He didn't just stand on his laurels. But you can only attack people so long before people start pushing away and going, you know what? I'm just not going to do it anymore. I'd rather put my money in the pockets of someone else that, and maybe I don't like the person, but I don't have to hear from that person, if that makes any sense. Monster Force looked beautiful at Joe Fest. They had so much of the prototypes on display for characters they haven't revealed as renders yet. Yeah, we saw it at PowerCon. Yeah, Ed and I, yeah, we spent a good amount of time looking through that glass at all the Monster Force stuff. And the thing that I like about the Monster Force is that, again, if you look at the early weapons, the early figures do not say designed by Gridiron. I think they did their own weapons. Then they partnered with Gridiron. And again, I mentioned it early on the stream. I do have an issue with the price of Gridiron stuff. I don't understand. I don't know what their production cost is. But again, if I don't want to buy it, I don't have to buy it. But hopefully that these things are done, under mold injection, and you'll get some nice detailed Gridiron weapons at a cheaper price, kind of bagged together through BBTS. But Ed says, I'll be spending all my money on Monster Force. Won't have anything left after that. Yeah, you will. Yes, you will. The diaphragm joint is so much better than the ab crunch, and it doesn't matter. I'd rather have my Joes and third-party people I care about. I'm so indifferent over the ab crunch or the diaphragm. Neither one bothers me. I do think that the diaphragm, or that is called the belly dancing, I do like it better, but the ab crunch doesn't bother me like it bothers so many other people. But that's just me. Like, that doesn't really bother. Again, I do like it better, but it's not a deal breaker like so many other people. What is annoying is that the figure that decided to put it on, I know they did on Serpentor, but they decided to put it on Bazooka to start with. And that's the one that needed the ab crunch because of the numbers and would have kept it proper. So, but yeah. Waiting on that snowmobile that you can make from Gridiron using. And did you really order that? That's $200 for that thing. Again, I think that's absolutely crazy. I'm not going to. I'm not gonna shame anyone if they spend that, but damn, that thing is expensive, man. You having a stroke? Am I missing something, KJ? Do we need to call 911 for you? What's up with the numbers? Oh, that's the final number. As a giant. I removed it. So I was like, what are you doing? Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be that, oh, you wake up in the morning and it just went over 14K. Which I have no problem. You know what? If they're that close to the numbers, throw it up there. They're going to have to make a few extra anyway because you know there's going to be some QC issues. But yeah. Richard Sampson, my favorite classified right now is low light. Low light's really good. I am upset with his sniper because it is soft and if it has the suppressor on it, it starts to sag. Richard, I do want to say this: you have been a wonderful addition to the chat today. So I hope to see you every single Monday. And don't forget, this Thursday I'll be talking to Bees Battleground. But seriously, if I see someone who is new to the chat, I want to say, you know what? You've been a wonderful addition. Sometimes you get people that come in that act like total assholes. They usually get, sought out pretty quickly. But you've been a wonderful addition, and I hope to continue to see you around. And I think it's awesome because I know when I was on with Jay Bartlett on Saturday, some girl, Susan, not my ex, she just happened to pop in, and Jay's like, hey, I've never seen you before. And she's like, I was just looking for nerd stuff to watch, and your guys' stream popped up about Star Wars or something like that. So I thought that's cool. Like I said, here I kind of do a stream, and I talk about how you don't really gain too many subscribers through live streams, but it does happen. But again, if I looked at my analytics, you'd see that there's not too many new subscribers that way. That's all from my stuff. So some of us act like assholes, and we've been here forever. Well, that's why you're allowed to act like an asshole, because you've been here forever. I gotta say, so the tunnel rat really pisses me off, and I didn't even talk to Lenny about it. His hands are too small. He does not hold the weapons properly, and he has too much stuff that sits on his shoulder. And I've heard so many people say the exact same thing. And they did want to do something different, he said, but it just wasn't going to work out. But there's just too much stuff on there. It drives me nuts because you really can't put everything on him. But the fact that I can't really hold the gun properly at all drives me nuts. I bought 2 rock and rolls because I put his head sculpt on Ultimate Cap and gave Old Man Hawkeye to rock and roll. I almost bought 2 because I needed the because I lost his walkie-talkie in Florida on the beach while I was doing pictures, but my asshole friend Ed was gracious enough to send me. Ed, a matter of fact, you're still here. I have to ask you something. I keep meaning to ask, and I always forget. So when you sent me the walkie-talkie for rock and roll, you also sent me the machine gun and the little ammo canister, right? You didn't send me the bullet belt. And not that I'm mad, because you sent me everything else, and I wasn't expecting that. But I always meant to ask, what did you keep the bullet belt for? Like, what are you actually using it for? I mean, I know you do all these pictures, but what did you keep the bullet belt for? Because it must be in some of your pictures or something. So I'm just wondering what you kept the bullet belt for. So if you could answer that before I end the stream, because some of us have to work in the morning. You know what? I was so cautious about everything, but it's somewhere on the beach. So Outback will probably be my favorite figure. As a head sculpt and rock and roll head sculpt are amazing. I still think that That's just mean. And why would your bullet belt be in the same place as my hand? My lost hand. Do we need more ninjas right now? Because we got a lot of ninjas. Back to this one. I still think that Tiger Force Outback head sculpt is the best sculpt they've done. And that's saying a lot because they're doing some really good ones, but for everything that you get, and I just think it looks better than the regular Outback. I know that he has the gray hair and everything, but all right. Okay, I want a second tripwire. He looks awesome as an aerial combat trooper in his OG look with the Steel Corps jetpack. Okay. Major Blood is my favorite. His head sculpt is awesome. It's lost. It's an island of lost toys right next to the island of misfit toys. So here's where Ed starts to become funny. He's laughing at his own jokes. Kiwi GI Customs. You always tune in right at the end, but I understand that there is a time difference from where you're at to where I'm at. But thank you for joining. Maybe you're watching the whole time. We didn't even talk about 2027 or 1027. So oh God, man. What happened to can I make it 3 hours? Should I go 3 hours? I did a whole voting and nobody wanted me to go 3 hours. Yet here I am every Monday night, 3+ hours. What do you guys think is coming in 1027? I think that we will. I believe Mutton Junkyard are going up for pre-order, just for the fact that they've said that supposedly they've hit the shores, which seems really odd that they would be hitting the shores right now and they haven't even gone up yet. But I think that we'll finally see the actual looks of the SMS? MMS? I forget which one's the Joe and which one's Cobra. And I think we're going to see the Vamp. I think they want to push that out. No, I have to work because I'm going to be wrapping it up really, really soon, like in the next 2 minutes. Yeah, like I said, I think we're going to see the Vamp and I think we're going to see the MMS or SMS, whichever one is the Cobra one. Because I think that they really want to get. I think there's a couple things. I mean, I think that they want to get their vehicle out before other people get their vehicles out. Speaking of 6-inch vehicles, Mezco, where is the vehicle that you teased? Yeah, it's only 920 there, Allison, but you live on the West Coast. And Tony, did the 49ers lose? Please don't tell me the 49ers lost. They did not lose to the White Queens. He'll come eventually. I haven't heard anything about him. But you look at this figure, and I can definitely see a blowtorch body. The blowtorch body being used off this figure. And look, he has a little... he has his little belly dancing thing, so. You got to be kidding me. You bet $5 on a team that should win, and you think that you're not going to lose your $5. You're waiting on. I don't think we're getting. I do not think we're getting a Rattler. Yes. Blowtorch and Airtight are perfect. Yep. They got to use that body for other things. There's no doubt about that. Oh my God. This is like I bet like I did one of those things, and then I made like $100 all last year from like $5, betting. So I just like bet like $5 on wins and losses. This has been, and if you bet football this week, oh my gosh, it has been a complete disaster. Fatrid says, Punk, do you think if the Fallout TV show is successful, we'll see new action based on the movie? I have no idea what Fallout TV is. So I cannot answer that, and I won't try and be one of those people that acts like they know everything. I don't know. I'll have to look that up, and I'll actually look that up, and I'll maybe discuss that next Monday. But I'm gonna go because it has been 3 hours and 20 minutes. That means that it is 12:22 here. I got a dog that is passed out on my bed over there. He's out. Yeah. So anyway, hope I cleared some things up. I hope if you're a toy tuber or any type of YouTuber, you get some information, some good information. Maybe something just clarifies something. Maybe you're thinking, hey, should I be doing it like this? And again, if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message. I don't know everything, but I don't feel like I'm never going to hide anything or keep things from people because there's no reason to. We're all supposed to be one big, happy fucking family here. And I'm glad to see KJ has been here almost the whole time, if not the whole time. Usually he's out fairly early. And Dreadnought Ryan is watching. Dude does not go to sleep as early as he says. See, I don't play video games. I do not play video games. So, yeah, I wouldn't know. But who would be, what you might want to ask is Bees Battleground this Thursday. He collects anything that is military. So now I know Fallout because I can picture the video game and the logo. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here this Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will have Bees Battleground on. He is my nemesis. Maybe we would tell the story about how he became my nemesis, but he's got a story to tell. And again, that's what Thursday with a Friend is. You're going to learn about the people rather than just their toy collecting and who they are, and all the different things like that. And you'll find out Bobby B is not some 65-year-old man. He's actually just a young guy with a super, super deep voice. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you, every single one of you, for showing up today. I know there was a lot of competing stuff with all the HasLab going on, but I'm glad so many of you came around and stuck around, and I will see you all Thursday. So take care.